still get a first down right there. There's just something that seems wrong about that.
So luckily the first down run was not negated, by that penalty. As Seidela works out of the gun at midfield. In the flat, Lamar Eccles has it. Breaks some tackles and he's down close to the 40-yard line. Almost enough for another first down.
Well, Holman did a good job on the corner right there, just hanging the ground right now. The safety was a little bit slow getting there and just gave him enough room to create some extra space right there. But I think that's what you got to do if you're Pike, is just keeping him on balance. A run here, a quick pass here. That actually kind of was like a run, how quickly he got that ball to that receiver.
This time it's a draw play up the middle to Williams, or rather Gabe Carr, excuse me. As he's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Daniel Harrell came up and filled that gap pretty quickly right there and made a great play up in the hole. And that's what Warren Central needs. They've got to have everybody doing their job consistently. And that's one of their big challenges right now. They do it every once in a while, but to be a great team, you got to do it consistently.
Another 3rd and short situation. They were able to convert last time. What can Seidela and company do here? Hand off to Williams. He has the first down and more, down around the 37-yard line. And a 4.
You know, Warren Central's defense is a little bit on their heels right now, and they kind of look confused. And, you know, when Pike was driving, Pike was able to drive it all the way down the field. Or, I'm sorry, Warren was able to drive it all the way down the field and put some points on the board. This is an interesting situation for Pike, and see if they can't do the same.
We saw Warren Central have a clock-consuming drive on their first possession. Pike is doing the same thing, as there's just over a little 3 minutes to go in this fast-paced first quarter. Mitchell, the tight end, in motion. Seidela drops back, has to step up and loads it downfield for his man. Caught for the touchdown. That is Xavier Simpson with his 7th touchdown of the season.
And that's a situation that, you know, as a free safety, that's the one thing you can't give up. You can't get up, get beat down the middle of the field, and that's exactly what just happened right there to Brian Stevens. So, you know, great job on the offensive side, going up top. I don't know if the offense quarter saw a little something where that defense was sucking, getting too close to on that run. They put the ball out there, 6 points, and if you're a Red Devil fan, you got to like what you see.
That was a 37-yard touchdown for Xavier Simpson. Mr. Ivy League, getting some offers and interest from various Ivy League schools around the country. As Javier Juarez set to kick the PAT, and that is through the uprights. Special teams, or the kicking game specifically, is definitely an area, one of the weaker areas for this Pike team, but Juarez gets it done on that play.
Well, as long as you put 6s on the board, you do that enough, you can miss a couple, but he didn't. They got that, as ugly as it is, but you know what they always say, Josh, is there's no picture on scorecards, and that 7 points is just like everybody else's.
Woof. An excellent possession for the Pike Red Devils, an excellent answer as the MIC Network welcomes back Papa John's as a partner in bringing you the best high school sports coverage in Central Indiana. The Papa John's team is ready to cover your hunger at over 30 area locations. When you are ready for better pizza, make sure you order Papa John's. Just go to papajohns.com. That was a 9-play, 71-yard drive for the Red Devils. Again, an excellent response by this team that is very senior-laden and is ready to prove that they are amongst the top dogs in the MIC this season.
Yeah, I mean, that was a scene. I mean, that seemed like that was just playing catch in the park with your friends, the way they did that. Moved the ball all the way downfield and didn't seem to be bothered much at all from Warren Central's defense. And we know that was the matchup we were looking for. And right now, I got to give that edge to that Pike offense over that Warren Central defense.
Set to kick it away is Matthew Murray, the 6'1 senior, as he booms it through the end zone for a touchback. So after an impressive first possession for Warren Central, they now come back to the field. Travis, this first possession was a bit emblematic of what we saw last week when they hosted Ben Davis. They were able to move the ball up and down the field, but when they got in the red zone, they really struggled to finish possession.
I think that's something that a lot of teams that spread themselves out throughout the middle of the field, when you get in the red zone, it's a little bit tighter. You don't have as much field to work with, and I think that was part of Warren Central's challenge, last week, and penalties, and just being committed to playing penalty-free football. And this is what we're going to have to see from Warren Central in this possession.
So an impressive first series for Powell as he starts from the gun. In the flat, finds Delgado. He doesn't find his blockers as he's met quickly by Kyron Montgomery.
Yeah, those passes like that are quick, Josh, are really just meant to almost be like a run. It's a way to get the ball in your playmaker's hands, sometimes behind the line of scrimmage, and let them go quickly. And it's pick every once in a while to catch the defense off balance, and you might be able to break one.
Powell getting the signal from the sideline as we're already under 2.5 minutes to go in this fast-paced first quarter. Handoff to Jordan. This time he's met quickly. Kyron Montgomery, the Grim Reaper, stepping in once again on the stop.
Yeah, he's definitely tough to deal with on the defensive line right there. And I think, in the old days they had this system called check with me, and you'd walk up to the line of scrimmage and you'd find number 9 and you'd say, if he's on the right, we're running to the left. And I think Warren Central is going to have to do that some tonight, or you're going to have to deal with what that 6'5", 245-pound defensive lineman is going to do to your offense.
Another 3rd and long situation. Need to get to the 30 for a first down. Powell holds it back, now fires and finds Delgado. And I believe he has enough of the first down. He is knocked out of bounds at the 31 for a gain of 8.
That's a great job by Delgado catching that ball and knowing that he was short of the first down and being able to get upfield and get that first down right there. So a good job from Prince to get that to him, but also a better job getting the ball upfield and getting that first down.
After weeks of a struggling passing game, Travis, it looks like that there's definitely a connection being formed between Powell and Delgado.
Well, I think Coach West told us a couple weeks ago it was going to take some time, and they knew that was going to happen. And just for a young offense that have a lot of moving parts that haven't played together, it was going to take some time for them to get in sync. And now we're starting to see some of that happening.
A near disastrous jet sweep by Khalil Howard actually winds up for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for this Warren Central offense. Powell will work out of the gun once again. Play action over the middle, and that is in and out of the hands of Michael Clark. Good coverage on the play by that Pike secondary. But Dafe Eason was the man on the stop.
I think it's Joseph Jefferson right there that came out of the top and just was right on top of that right there. But two things happened. One, Michael wishes he had that ball back because that was a catchable ball. But just a great defense. And if you're a defensive player, if you're just around the ball and you make it more difficult for people, it makes it more plausible for them to drop easy balls like that.
3rd and 6, line of gain is the 41. In the flat, Joe Walker has it, but is met quickly by a duo of Red Devils. It looked like Joseph Jefferson, one of the safeties, the first man on that stop.
Well, Josh, that's that same play call that Warren used at the end of the ball game last week against Ben Davis. And almost similar situation. You got to pick up almost, 7 yards right there, 6 yards, and you throw the ball right at the line of scrimmage and hope a guy can make a couple guys miss instead of throwing the ball down the field. I really don't understand that play call right there, instead of throwing the ball downfield and giving your guys a chance as well as they're playing right now.
So after one first down, Warren Central has to go back and punt. Joe Jackson boots this one away. Lamont Owens fields it from the 35. Good job by Owens to shed some tackles, but there is a flag on the field. Looks like in the area of a block in the back or a holding call.
Josh, when I was coaching high school football years ago, it was so much easier to sit in the film room and go, man, we should have called this play or should have called that play. And, what things I learned was that's what made a lot of coaches really good, was their ability to adjust on the field and make great calls. And I think that is what high school football is about being able to outthink the person on the other side and put your guys in great positions to win. And that's what's going to come down to this game right here is who does that better in the X and O's.
So it is a block in the back, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. But nonetheless, Pike coming out to the field after an impressive 9-play, 71-yard drive that ended with a Xavier Simpson touchdown. That's what Xavier Simpson's been doing all season, Travis, living in the end zone. Already has 7 receiving touchdowns on the year. On first down, it's a handoff to Darius Williams. Gets a couple of yards down to the Pike 36.
Yeah, and for Pike right now is, they know they can stand and they can just throw the ball at Warren Central. It's about keeping them off balance. And, sometimes you don't know that that's what they're doing and why they keep running the ball, but that's why. And they're going to come back at Warren and start throwing the ball here in a second. You can believe that.
And just like that, folks, we are at the end of the first quarter. Pike leads 7-3. An excellent start for the Red Devils after Warren Central was able to get some points on their first possession. We will send it to a quick commercial break. You are watching the MIC Network Game of the Week.
2 vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Welcome back to Pike High School side today's MIC Network Game of the Week between the Pike Red Devils and the Warren Central Warriors. And if you are looking for custom designed apparel for your organization or company, you'll win every time when you team up with the folks at Brand Visions. No order is too small or too large. So before you pay too much, get a quote from Brand Visions. Contact them today at brandvisionsllc.com.
Well, Josh, that first quarter was everything we expected it to be. We had some great offense, ball controlling all the way down the field. And, I think right now Warren Central's defense is a little bit on their heels, a little bit shocked probably that Pike moved the ball so easily against this tough defense.
Anthony Seidel, the quarterback, still in this series. Later on throughout this game, we will definitely see a bit of the second-string quarterback, Akeem Abdur-Rahim, who was more of a scrambling type quarterback. Seidel works out of the gun on first down, finds Simpson, and he is walled up. But Warren Central is trying to say they got an interception. We'll see what the officials call.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting call because I'm not sure when he actually got that ball out, but both officials looked like they had a really good visual to that, and it looked like that was a turnover for the Warren Central defense. And you see how Jack
interception is the call on the field.
And what a play by Najee Beard, the guy that got the interception. That's what in high school, we call that a weight room play, Coach.
Well, what I call that is a guy stepping in the starting lineup this week and having an opportunity to make a big play and change the momentum for his defense. And that's exactly what Najee did right there. And this could be a big momentum shift if Warren Central can take the ball downfield and put it in the end zone. If you're Pike right now, this is called fire. Defense is coming, they're rallying, they got to go in the middle of a tough situation, back against the wall, and get a stop against Warren Central right now. And so my guess is Warren Central will throw this ball down towards end zone and see if they can't make them pay for it.
First and 10 for Warren Central.
So Beard, with that interception, gets Warren Central down to the Pike 43-yard line. Powell on first down in the flat, and it's going to be a trick play. Michael Clark rolling out downfield, and that is incomplete. Excellent breakup on the play. It looked like Joseph Jefferson was in on the breakup.
Yeah, in football games, anytime that you can throw a little trickery in there and keep people off balance to give yourself some opportunity, you can do that. And typically what that means, Josh, is somebody upstairs said, hey, as soon as we throw that short, quick pass that I was talking about last time, the defense is running so fast after them, they knew that they could throw that pass right there. The safety was going to run, and they're going to have an easy toss on the upside. But in this particular case, Pike did a great job of keeping their distance. We call it staying deep as the deepest. They didn't fall for that trickery. Warren Central didn't get it done right, and now they're actually moving the other way.
And to add insult to that injury, like you said, Travis, a five-yard penalty for an illegal forward pass, and that includes a loss of down. So now 2nd and 15 all the way back at the Pike 48-yard line.
Yeah, it's not a bad option right there for Warren Central to try to do something to really change the momentum. Just didn't work, just kind of backfired, didn't work out on that particular series.
Low snap, play action, and that is incomplete. Powell trying to find his man, Jeremiah Hernandez.
Yeah, good play call right there, and Hernandez was open. But sometimes shorter quarterbacks are trying to find pockets or lanes where there's not arms that can bat balls down, and looked like that was one of the challenges right there for Prince was he couldn't figure out how to get that ball in that lane without letting one of those defensive linemen get a hand on it.
Guys, you got to commit, all right? It looks good, but
Jason West is really high on his guy Hernandez, but so far he and Powell have really struggled to connect only one catch on the season for 12 yards.
I'll tell the other cameras to move, okay?
3rd and long situation now as Powell rolls out. As time finds his man for the first, almost to the first down. That was Hernandez on the play, but there is a flag in the backfield.
Well, flags in the backfield, either it's a roughing the passer, and that's for Warren Central, or it's a holding call going against them. And it's not what you're looking for with Warren Central. But, Josh, let me point out something that Warren Central did there that I think they're going to have to do today, and that's rolling out the pocket. The times that Prince has been in a situation that they've rolled him out, give him more time so he's comfortable. He's completing passes down the field. And, you know, if I'm the offensive coordinator here and I'm looking at that, that's something that at halftime we're probably going to roll that protection, give him some more time to be able to make some of those passes.
So that is a hold on Warren Central, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Now it's going to be 3rd and 25 all the way back at the 41-yard line of Warren Central.
Yeah, and Warren Central, I mean, to pick up the first down is great, but this is sometimes just a field position play. Get your ball back in position and to kick it or to go for it on 4th down even.
I need you to hold the shot, commit to it.
Play action for Powell. Under pressure, has to get rid of it downfield, and that is well over his intended target, Delgado. And another flag in the backfield. You see number 91, Tyrone Lofton for Pike, waving his arms.
Yeah, and this is one that, from a coaching perspective, do you just decline it and kick it and get the ball back, or go ahead and push it back and give him another try?
We've got to mention how brutal these penalties have been for Warren Central. Already 4 on the day. If you don't include this one that was just declined, 4 penalties in this first half for 30 yards. 2 of them coming on this drive alone that started all the way back at the Pike 43-yard line. So a wasted opportunity for Warren Central yet again.
Well, I'm sure the offensive team staff over there is frustrated because they didn't move the ball there. They had a great opportunity, great momentum. The defense, did a great job, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. And so now defense has to get back after it and see if they can make something happen.
What a punt by Joe Jackson. It looked like it was going to bounce out of bounds, but it goes all the way down to the Pike 6-yard line.
And I think what the Pike team is saying, like that ball bounced out of bounds before it kind of swings back around. We don't have a replay monitor, so I'm not sure. I do know that as a punt returner, that's on you. Come up, make the fair catch the ball, and you save your team about 20 yards of field position. And I'm sure they'll watch that one on film and go, yep, you got to get up there and you got to catch that ball and put us in a better situation.
That's what you call a for-the-brand punt right there. Pat McAfee would be proud. So now for the 3rd time today, we'll be seeing this Pike offense. Seidella, the quarterback, still in. This time their backs are against the wall, starting at their own 6. Warren Central showing blitz. And off on 1st down to Williams. Trucks forward. And he's down at the 10 for a gain of 4.
Yeah, that's a good, safe first play right there, but I look for Pike to be a little bit more aggressive, even though they're inside their 10-yard line right here, and throw this ball down the field and see if they can change the field position a little bit.
We have yet to mention this too, Travis, this running game for Pike. It's certainly been formidable, but it took a huge hit a couple of weeks ago with the loss of Isaiah Martin, their starting tailback who transferred from Buff Jesuits. Looked really well in the first couple of weeks, but actually wound up tearing his ACL and is now lost for the season.
It's one of those terrible things where I hate to see kids get injured and lose the whole season and have to battle back. But sometimes it helps the team gel and it helps the individual have to overcome some challenging situations, and they become life lessons, Josh. And everybody works to get better from it.
Williams with another solid carry, bringing up 3rd and short. Line to gain is the 17. Another handoff to Williams. This time he's bottled up. Great stop by that Warren Central defense. Jaden Perkins is one of the guys on that stop, as well as DeJuan Eccles. So with 3 and out, Travis.
Very interesting quick little play call right there. I think Pike was pretty confident they're going to be able to pick that thing up, and it's pretty close, but maybe they'll even measure it for just for certainty here. But if this is truly a 4th down, then man, Warren Central's defense, hats off to you right there, because that shift in momentum could have been very, very hurtful. And I think if you think about the punt is kind of what set that tone and put Pike's back against the wall.
So we have an official's timeout on the field. And what car company gives you a choice of some of the best auto brands? It's the Tom Wood Automotive Group. With 12 brands including Honda, Ford, and Volvo, you are sure to find the car you are looking for. Find out how easy it is to buy your next car at TomWood.com. Let's drive with the team that drives high school sports.
Good job,
Well, hey, Josh, one thing I can tell you is I'm giving Pike the nod on the best music that's being played in between everything. And,
always love some Biggie.
Some old school, and I'm one of them old school guys, so we're playing all the stuff from the 90s. That's what I'm talking about. Great job, Pike.
This is a fun story for another day, Travis, but my dad actually did get to meet Biggie Smalls years ago when he was still alive.
I can't wait to hear that one, Josh. Pick that ball, scoop and go.
Here's Therese Reed on the return. Sheds some tackles, and he is brought down at the 26-yard line. A great return by the senior corner puts Warren Central once again in great field position.
Well, that was a very risky play when that ball is bouncing and defenses are all around. But, man, if you're a return guy, you absolutely love that thrill, being able to catch that ball in the bounce and take it right at him. And that's exactly what he did right there. And, I think Therese Reed is smiling on the sidelines with some extra juice going. But, Josh, this is what has to happen here. Warren Central has got to put the ball in the end zone.
Officially marked at the Pike 27, best field position of the day for these Warriors. Last time they were down this far, they got 3. Let's see if the Warriors can finish on this possession. As Powell keeps himself, and he's met by a couple of Red Devils, including Josh Woods.
Yeah, this is a momentum shift again, and that happened with interception last series. A big punt return right now, and Warren Central has to be able to capitalize on this. And it's going to start creating some doubt. And here's what also it does: is Pike's defense starts to get more and more confidence every time they stop this Warren Central offense.
Gain of 3 for Powell on 2nd down and 7. Out of the gun, Chris Jordan, the tailback, to Powell's right. Powell drops back under pressure, steps up, and that is incomplete. Intended target was once again Delgado.
I just don't feel like Powell looks very comfortable sitting in the pocket, Josh. This is what we were talking about earlier. I think when they roll him out a little bit, he gets outside that pocket, he's more confident, he's not threatened. And I think if I was calling the offensive plays right now, I'd be thinking right now on 3rd down, how can I get him outside of the pocket to make a decision to throw that ball down the field or tuck it and run.
Another 3rd down situation coming up. Luckily for Warren Central, they do have a solid kicker in Joe Jackson that can help knock some field goals from this distance. That is if they aren't able to convert. Powell with time throws it up in the air, and that is incomplete. Man, it's like a broken record every time. It seems like Joseph Jefferson has been making plays left and right all night.
Joseph Jefferson. That makes it 4th down and 7.
So they will send Joe Jackson out to the field to attempt a 41-yard field goal. His long on the season is from 52. He did try a 53-yarder last week against Ben Davis, but he wound up missing that. Jackson ready to kick. Snap, ball down, kick on the way. It looks good. It is no good, actually. It is no good. It looked like it was wide right. From our vantage point, the kick had the distance, but the kick is wide right. So Pike escapes once again. Warren Central wastes another golden opportunity. And now we will see this Pike offense come to the field once again. Much better field position than their last drive. They were all the way back at the 6. This time they'll start at their own 20. So after the first possession for Pike, it's been rough sledding for these Red Devils, having a lot of trouble moving the ball.
Yeah, and what you're seeing right now is they're just so out of rhythm at this point in time, and there's not the connection. And Josh, even though he came out in such great fashion at the very beginning, this is where teams, if they have that number 2 quarterback, sometimes they'll throw him out there just to mix things up. But, man, he had things going early on. I'd hate to see him do that. But if they don't get some things rolling, I think you might see a little bit of change.
Seidel faced some pressure and overthrew his intended target, Xavier Simpson. After that first touchdown, the two have really struggled to find a connection, and a lot of credit goes to this Warren Central defense. This time it's a draw play up the middle and maybe a yard for Darius Williams. Andrew Nelson, the middle linebacker, was in on the stop.
Well, I think Warren Central's defense has kind of found their spot now, and they're pretty confident and have some of that swagger back. And I think after that first series, they probably went over that sidelines, got underneath that tent, watched a couple things, and decided to turn around. It feels like you're seeing a different Warren Central defense ever since that first possession.
Well, you got to remember, Travis, this is the second best defense in the MIC, both from a scoring and yards allowed standpoint. Seidel drops back, fires, and that is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Xavier Simpson. So another punt coming up.
Well, Josh, here's what is happening, we know, is the defenses on both sides of the ball are both playing well, and the offenses are both struggling. And this is a situation right now where Warren Central's defense comes in there, puts a stop on them, and gets a quick 3 and out, and gives the ball back to their offense.
And there was a feeling, Travis, that this was going to be a low-scoring game, especially considering the fact that Pike's offense and Warren Central's defense, it was really, again, a strength-on-strength matchup. As Pike gets the punt away, takes a good bounce as Reed fields it behind the 45, and he's brought down quickly. A good stop made by 44 of Pike, Israel Ogunmoyero.
Yeah, Trez that time was trying to make something out of nothing, and sometimes doing that you lose a couple yards, but that's what playmakers do. He's definitely trying to do that there. So Josh, this Warren Central offense got to turn something around, or this is going to be a 7-3 game and no more points. So I'm excited to see what Warren Central's going to do this possession when they got the ball.
Hey, as a defensive guy myself, Travis, I don't mind some defensive struggles. But that being said, maybe some more points throughout the course of this game wouldn't hurt.
Well, I know Pike is okay with it right now as long as it ends this way.
Well, Powell will start this one from the 42. Handoff to Jordan, and he's bottled up quickly. Madape Isan, one of the first guys in on that stop.
And as a running back, that's the one you hate. As soon as you get the ball, you're getting hit right there. So much pressure right there from Pike right there. Just, you know, when you get Jake Curtis in your face, wrapping you up before you can take 2 steps, it's not a good look.
Jake Curtis also in on the stop, and This is a guy, Travis, that Coach Echeverria is really high on as well. Curtis is a 3-year starter. May not necessarily make the splashy plays, but he has been what the kids call, or what the coaches call, a program kid. As Jordan once again gets stymied at the line of scrimmage, this Pike defense has come to play, especially against the run.
Well, if you see, it looks like Warren Central's got a little bit predictable, and this defensive line is just tough. And they have some big kids up front that are penetrating well and shutting down this Warren Central run game, and quite frankly, the passing game too.
Another 3rd and long situation, exactly what Jason West did not want his young quarterback and this young offense to encounter, but here we are yet again. Play action, Powell in the pocket, and he fires out to Joe Walker. That's a Warren Central first down at the Pike 39-yard line.
And what I love about that pass play right there for him, it was a quick little 3-step, and the ball was out of his hand super quick. And when he gets the ball out of his hand, he's a completely different quarterback.
A gain of 22 for Walker, the 6'3" sophomore. Again, hardly any catches coming into this season. Of course, this Warren Central receiving corps still trying to get on the same page with their quarterback. As Powell fires deep, and that is over Walker.
You know what, but that's a good shot down the field right there, you know. You have first down, you have some momentum going, throw the ball down there, test that defense, you know. In high school, to get a defensive secondary on the same page over and over and over without ever busting a coverage is very difficult. I think the teams that put that pressure on teams down the field, challenge that secondary, are the teams that make those big plays.
Really the first time tonight, Travis, that we've seen Warren Central try to test the secondary vertically, but if that ball was a little bit more on the money, I think Walker could have been walking into the end zone on that play.
Yeah, there's opportunities out there. They just got to be able to give him enough time in that pocket right there to get that ball out of his hands. 3.
Powell again throwing deep to Walker, wide open for the Warren Central touchdown. 38 yards for the 6'3" sophomore.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying right there, is that you got to press the ball down the field like that, and eventually they're going to break down, and they're going to have busted coverages, and that's what happened right there. And when you bust a coverage from the secondary, guys are run all over the place, and other teams score touchdowns.
Just about the same exact play as the last time. I guess Jason West liked what he saw on the previous play. He thought, let's do it one more time and see what happens.
I love the play call and sending them down there, throwing that ball down the field.
Jackson's kick is through the uprights, and Warren Central regains the lead. The score is now 10-7. Just over 6 minutes to go in this first half. So there you go, Travis. There's some points for you, bud.
I like it. I like the play calling from Warren Central, throwing the ball down the field, putting Pike's defense in tough situations to defend. And when you do that, most of the time, offenses come out on top.
Well, have you had the Shaq-a-Roni yet? Papa John's biggest slices are available now at all of their Central Indiana locations. Why not get your team together after the game and order the hot, delicious Papa John's pizza of your choice? When you order, you are supporting those who support high school sports, and that's what we call a better deal. Tell you what, Travis, I know you're so fascinated with that Shaq-a-Roni.
I might get one tonight on the way home just to, you know, I got one pizza night a week, and it might be the Shaq-a-Roni this week. But on a serious note, Josh, it's a great job by the Warren Central really putting the pressure on Pike. Now the question is, Pike's going to have the opportunity. Will they do the same thing? Will they be able to put the pressure back on the secondary of Warren Central?
So Joe Jackson set to kick it away. It's a low-line kick that goes out of bounds, so Pike will start this drive at the 35-yard line. Pike coming out for their 5th possession of this game. Again, after their first drive that resulted in a Xavier Simpson touchdown, they have gone absolutely nowhere. Really, you feel like the turning point of this game was all the way back on their second drive when Najee Beard, filling in for the injured Lee Alexander, stepped up and made a huge play with the interception.
Well, I think Warren Central's defense the last 2 or 3 times have really turned up the intensity.
And
We talked about that in
there
the
are
pregame
2
show.
concession stands on the home
One of
side.
the questions is
There's
can they
a
do it
concession stand on the
consistently?
north end of the stadium
They're doing it
as well.
consistently now, and I think this is going to be a very
Legal
important drive for both
procedure.
Pike on the offensive
On the
side
kick-
and Warren Central on the
kicking
defense,
team.
because the tide will officially turn
Ball
right here
spotted
with
at the
whoever
35.
wins this series.
Seidela remains the quarterback on this possession. We'll start officially at the 35-yard line. Warren Central's defense has come to play yet again. Eccles, the man in motion, as Seidela, with plenty of time, zips it through and incomplete. Ajay Dandridge couldn't get a hold of that pass.
Yeah, that's just a great defensive play right there by the young sophomore from Warren Central. You know,
Second and 10.
Pike came out to do the exact same thing, throw the ball, press them down the field. Now, remember, when this was going the other way, Pike defended the first one. So the question is, will Pike throw this back at Warren Central, make Warren Central defend the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one?
Good, thank you, everybody.
That's the question that I have right now.
Second down now for Pike. Play action again, finds his man, Chris Mitchell, the tight end, who breaks into the open field. Down at the 30-yard line for Warren Central. Chris Mitchell with a big-time reception. And finally, Pike's offense is able to break it loose against this stingy Warren Central defense.
Well, yeah, that was just a good move by him right there, just making that little shake right there. Chris Mitchell, I believe it was, and getting out in the open space and not only getting the first down, but driving that ball down into deep into Warren Central territory. And now it's like, what will Warren Central do? Will this team put the pressure back on? Will they bend but don't break? Or will they give up some points to Pike here?
Officially a 33-yard gain. As Seidela's pass to Owens falls incomplete. Luckily, that was not a backwards pass. Otherwise, Warren Central could have come up with a fumble recovery.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that right there, where they might have covered that. You know, as an offensive guy, you know, you definitely don't want that to happen on your watch. And good job on the defense putting that pressure on.
Into the game now is at tailback is Keemon Owens. A nice little change of pace back for this Pike offense. As Owens gets the handoff to the left edge, sheds some tackles. And it looks like he has enough for a first down, but there is a flag at the end of the play.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what that flag was right there. If it doesn't go against the offense, that is a first down. That was all willpower right there on that run, breaking tackles. And Pike moving the ball on this Warren Central defense.
And we will see what the flag is momentarily. This might be something on Warren Central.
I don't care about the buses.
Here's the official call.
Targeting. Defense. After this Super Bowl.
Did they say targeting?
It is a targeting penalty on Warren Central, so a half the distance to the goal.
With the run and the penalty, it is now first and 10 from the Warren Central 11-yard line.
So now Pike in great shape down to the Warren Central 11-yard line. Last time they were in this position, they scored on a Xavier Simpson touchdown. First trip to the red zone today. And there's another flag on the field for a false start against Pike.
False start.
Yeah, that's one of those situations. That's one of those situations that you don't want to happen right there. Like you're pressing, you're moving, you're throwing, and then you shoot yourself in the foot right there, and just definitely not what Pike needed inside the red zone.
Only the second penalty of the day for Pike. 2 for 10 yards. Seidela out of the gun as Jaden Perkins shoved down the offensive guard, Cameron Cook.
Look like that's the good old, how do we get those 5 yards back? Fellas, let's go on a hard count. Nobody move. We're going to draw that defense right off sides here.
And it is an encroachment. Good job by Seidela working the hard count. Already 6 penalties alone in this first half for Warren Central. That's just not a winning recipe.
Well, that's a different discipline right there, because even though the offense knows when they're going to snap the ball, you'd be amazed at how many times you say, hey, don't move. The guy's still moving and grab a penalty.
So back to where we were before at the Warren Central 11. Seidela, fade route to the end zone, caught for the touchdown once again.
What a great ball right there. I mean, the pass was perfect. The coverage was pretty good from Holden right there. But as my good friend Mark Jackson says, great offense always beats great defense.
Cam Green with the touchdown. His second touchdown of the season. But there was a flag against Warren Central. It will be negated, so an 11-yard touchdown to Cam Green, the 6-foot sophomore. Travis, keep an eye on this guy. This could be the future of this Pike receiving corps.
Yeah, well, that was just a great ball that they threw right there, and Seidela just put that ball on the money. He put it in a spot, Josh, that only his guy could catch, and the defense couldn't get to it. And that's just a beautifully thrown ball. That's what the best quarterbacks do. You see that at high school throwing that fade route right there. That's all.
And a much better kick this time from Javier Juarez. Pike is back in front. Good response by the Red Devils as they now lead 14-10. We are now going to turn it down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Will Matchett.
Guys, what a huge drive from the Pike Red Devils. Able to finally get it down the field and convert from a Seidela pass to Mitchell to get it down to the Warren Central side. And then Seidela touch pass to Green for the touchdown. They are leading now. What a great game. What a second half that we are going to get to. So, yeah, Red Devils able to convert on this tough Warrior defense. Those were our Tom Wood keys of the drive.
2 vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Thank you, Will, as we check in on a couple of other scores from around the MIC. Center Grove taking on Lawrence Central tonight, already leads 52-0 with 6:25 to go in the second quarter. Carmel and North Central scoring off for a battle in second place in the MIC. Carmel leads that one 10-7. That is at North Central. And finally, Ben Davis leads Lawrence North at home 7-3.
Well, hey, we got us a football game now. The defenses were awake before. The offenses are awake now, and now we're going to see how people adjust. One of the most important things about football is not what your game plan was going in, but it's how you're able to adjust what the teams are doing. And both sidelines defensively are going to be very busy right now trying to figure out how do we stop that opposing offense.
So on the last drive, if you're just joining us, Joe Walker, the talented sophomore, connecting with Prince Powell for a 38-yard touchdown to put Warren Central momentarily back in front. Let's see what this young offense can do now for the Warriors. As Powell takes it himself off the left edge, and he's shoved out of bounds. A hard hit by Anthony Ledford, the 6-foot sophomore.
That's a big hit right there, and what makes it even more exciting is when you're able to do that to a quarterback, and he did that right there. And I think that right there had that sideline juiced up, the secondary's juiced up. I'm not sure how Prince feels about that, but we're going to see if he's okay right now.
If this was the NFL, that'd probably be a 15-yard penalty, right?
right, and concussion protocol.
Nonetheless, Powell out of the gun on 2nd and 6 from the 41. Into the flat, finds Delgado with some open field and a first down for Warren Central, down officially at the 48-yard line, gain of 7.
Well, I think that's how that play, that's how they want that play to work, and that's why they ran it last week with confidence, and they've been running it today with confidence because it moved the change, and that's a good 7-yard play right there. a little bit dangerous at times, running to the short side of the field, but great execution of it right there.
Looks like Warren Central's offense finally starting to click. Again, when we saw them last week, there were some flickering signs of life. This week, though, aside from a couple of drives early on in this first half, looks like this Warren Central offense is finally starting to show signs of improvement. Powell finds Delgado again, another first down, as he's down out of bounds at the 41 of Pike. Gain of 11 on that play.
Well, and I like how Warren Central starting to pick up the tempo a little bit right now, throwing the ball down the field. I think that's where I think Warren Central has some great receivers. They have a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field. I think they can make plays. They just got to challenge people and push them down the field.
Just over 4 minutes to go in this first half, and Warren Central once again in Pike territory. Joe Walker, the guy with the last touchdown, gets the first down reception all the way down to the Pike 37-yard line.
Yeah, now they're just playing catch. You see them gaining confidence, catching the ball. It's like in basketball when a guy just needs to make a free throw, needs to make a layup to see the ball go through the basket. Well, in football, a quarterback just needs to throw it and have a couple people catch that ball, and it builds that rhythm. And now they got the touchdown down the field, and now, again, they're attacking this Pike defense.
And we knew that Pike was one of the worst teams at giving up yards through the air. As Powell unloads it downfield, that is incomplete. Jeremiah Hernandez found the soft spot in the zone, but he couldn't hold on to that one.
Well, the challenge right there is he gave up on the ball right there, and sometimes receivers do that. They don't think the quarterback sees them, so they kind of stutter. Quarterback's throwing the ball where you're supposed to be, so young fella, keep running. Let your quarterback throw it to where you need to be. But Pike right here, this is crucial for you. You're vulnerable right now. You're a little bit tired. You need this defense to stop. Somebody on that Pike defense has to make a play.
3rd and 6, yard line to gain is the 31. Powell unloads it downfield and finds his man, Hernandez, for the touchdown.
Number 7, Jeremiah Hernandez.
Good job, Warren Central, rolling Prince Powell out, giving him plenty of room because that big-time D1, 6'4", 200-some-pound guy was coming at you, but they rolled him out, Josh. They gave him just enough room, busted coverage, touchdown.
37 yards for the 5'10" senior, his first touchdown of the season, Travis. 6 weeks in, and that is a big one right there.
Well, it's a momentum booster, not just for this game, but for the confidence of an individual player. You finally get that touchdown. It's kind of like, yeah, I know I deserve to be here, but that's like the validation that you need.
Jackson set to kick the PAT.
Caleb, does Xavier have
It
something to
is
say?
good, and Warren Central.
Is good for Joe Jackson.
Back and forth we go. Warren Central now leads 17-14 with 3:20 to go in this first half.
Well, it's just a good job for Warren Central getting everything together and clicking and coming back. You gotta like how they fought back right there.
Yes, please.
And a person that got a great view of that touchdown was Avia Owensby. We'll send it now down to her. Avia, what'd you see on that touchdown drive?
Okay. It was a slow start for Warren Central Warriors as the Pike Red Devils had took time to make sure they took over the control of the game. But right now it's looking like it's 14-17 with the Warren Central Warriors in the lead. But the game is not over yet. Back to you.
Thank you, Avia. And the secret is out about one of Indianapolis's best hotel choices. The Marriott East team will make sure you are safe and secure during your stay. With amenities like the Skylight Bistro and the Business Center, everything you need is right there on site. And at the Marriott East, a great stay doesn't have to cost a great deal of money. The next time you need a hotel room or a safe place to hold your meeting, contact the folks at the Marriott East, located just off Shaylin on 21st Street in Indianapolis. Set to return now for Pike is Lamont Owens. Has a lane through the middle, but it's closed quickly as he's knocked down at the 23.
It looked like he might break it, and then that special team guy, the guy that's going, hey, I need to get some play here. I need to get out on that field. He's taking that job super serious, and he came up and he made a heck of a play right there for Warren Central.
So now Pike coming back to the field. This is a golden opportunity for the Red Devils, Travis. Not only do they have a chance to score, with 3:13 to go, but they can double dip as they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, this is momentum right here. You know, Warren Central is able to come down and score. Pike wants to do the same exact thing. I think they can do that. They throw the ball down the field. They'll have some guys open.
Chris Mitchell, the tight end, in motion on first down. It's a play action down the field to Simpson, and that is incomplete through the outstretched arms of his intended target. Therese Reed, the man on the stop.
Yeah, if you're a cornerback, you live for this stuff, though. And Trez is shaking his head like, you can't come at me like that. Don't you know I'm a lockdown corner? But if I'm Pike, I'm coming right back at you. I'm going to throw that ball down the field. I'm going to make you make plays consistently, Josh, because I think that's the number one most challenging thing for high school defenses and offenses to do.
You have to think there was a chip on Therese Reed's shoulder after what happened last week. Gave up a couple of scores last week against Ben Davis. As Seidela, with some nifty footwork, picks up the first down and more, down to the 36-yard line for a gain of 13.
I'm not sure that's how they designed it, Josh, but it worked out really well right there, and it moved the chains and put the ball back in his hands, and I think we're going to see some more passes down the field right here.
Under 3 minutes to go in this first half. Time is still on the side for the Red Devils. Both teams with all 3 timeouts still. Seidela once again out of the gun on first down. It's a handoff, this time to Keemon Turner. He makes Therese Reed miss before falling down at the 39-yard line for a gain of 3.
So what makes this drive kind of difficult, Josh, is as Pike, you're trying to manage the clock the best you can, because you don't want to score too quickly and give Warren Central the ball back. You want to kind of run all the clock out and score just enough time, and that's why there's still going to be some running plays in there until probably get under that 1 minute mark.
2nd and 7. Seidela has to step up, and that is caught by Chris Mitchell once again. Tell you what, Chris Mitchell has been coming up with some clutch catches down the stretch in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, what a great set of hands right there. A great pass, perfectly thrown. He tucked that ball in and got a first down and moved the chains.
11-yard gain for the tight end, who is getting some offers from both Division II and Division III schools, including Lake Erie out in the Cleveland area, Mount St. Joseph's out by Cincinnati, Olivet, Ohio Wesleyan, and Kentucky Wesleyan. Handoff. This time it's Darius Williams. Picks up most of that first down yardage as he's knocked down at the Warren Central 44-yard line.
Number 20, Darius Williams on the carry.
That's one of those plays where you're hoping to maybe catch off guard the defense right there, because you've been throwing the ball around a little bit and maybe catch them sleeping and you bust one down the field. And Warren Central did a good job of staying home and doing their job individually to shut that down.
So with 1:34 to go, Pat Echeverria will take the first team timeout of the first half. And the MIC Network is happy to bring you some of the best high school sports action anywhere. This is our 6th year of showcasing the athletes, teams, and programs from the best conference. And this year we have a great schedule of games. Please check our website and social media platforms to stay up to date on any changes. Remember, the best action and the best coverage is on the MIC Network.
Josh, this is the fun part of the game. 1:30 to go, and you're in a situation where hopefully what ultimately happens is you get that ball in the end zone right before. I'm excited to see what Pike does here, because I think they're in a great situation to throw the ball down the field 3 or 4 times, get some first downs, and stress this Warren Central defense out right here before they go into half. And if they can put the ball in the end zone, like you said, they get the ball back, and now they have some extra momentum.
So let's see what head coach Echeverria was able to draw up coming out of this timeout. Good back and forth battle between the Red Devils trying to establish themselves in the MIC and Warren Central trying to get back on the winning track. Seidela with time, unloads it downfield towards his man, and that is intercepted! Intercepted by Therese Reed!
What a great play. Big time play from the cornerback from Warren Central, getting that pick right there, and he's probably going to get the belt
Take
The
it.
blood
Warren
belt.
Central, the blood belt that he has, because that's a big-time play and a big-time moment right
Good
there.
replay,
It's
Mr.
unfortunate
Jarrett.
because Seidela had him open, and his guy was beat. He underthrew the ball by about 4 or 5 yards, and instead of that being a touchdown for Pike, that's an interception for Warren Central.
That is the first interception of the season for Therese Reed, who's getting some looks at the Division II level, including Grand Valley, Lake Erie, and Notre Dame College out in Cleveland. When we talked to him last week on our Instagram Live Q&A series, Mic'd Up, he was mentioning that he's getting some interest from the Division I level too, so excited to see what is still in store for this talented corner.
Well, if he keeps playing like that, that's going to give him some opportunities, that's for sure.
A sizable gain on first down as Delgado gets it down past the 10-yard line. And with a minute 15 left, normally, if you were Jason West, you would probably consider trying to push this ball downfield, but there's a lot of ground to cover in a minute 15, and even with still 2 timeouts, it's probably a tall task for this young offense.
Well, actually, there's a little bit of gamesmanship going because Pike actually called that timeout, trying to make sure that Warren has to actually run the ball or throw the ball, and they can't just run the clock out. They want to put them in a situation that if they can stop them here, it forces Warren to have to punt the ball. And anytime you put your special teams on the field, it could be a bad snap, it could be a bad punt.
I know you're struggling with your
if they could, they'd like Seidela to get that ball back and maybe try to put that ball back in the end zone.
Again, with a minute 15 to go, Pike down to their last timeout of the first half. They'll need to get a stop here, and even if they do get the ball back with time remaining in the first half, they're only going to have precious seconds to work with.
Yeah, it's unlikely unless they can force, Warren Central into a turnover situation, or maybe Warren Central gets aggressive here and throws the ball, and the clock and it has an incomplete pass and clock stops. These are things you don't necessarily know. Looks like Warren's going to line up and maybe run the ball, which is probably maybe a good thing to do based upon the ball position and being up 17 and not wanting to make any mistakes.
Powell will work under center I formation. Fullback give up the middle. The officials mark him down at the 15-yard line, just short of the first down marker.
Well, and I think that situation right there, they didn't call it the first down. So most likely Warren will run the ball here, but if they don't do that and they try to throw the ball, clock could stop and force a punt. Either way, Pike wanted to try to put themselves in a situation to force that if they can.
Just over 1 minute to go as we are in the closing seconds of this first half, Travis. We take a look at Warren Central's offense, and they've done a great job of improving throughout the course of this half. We look back and, we talked to Jason West the last couple of weeks now, and he really wants to make sure this team is able to run the football, especially come November when the weather gets cold and nobody really wants to be outside. But really, we're seeing a different sort of offense out on the field, one that's able to sling it downfield, and I think a lot of credit goes to the fact that Jason West sees a weakness with this Pike secondary that gives up a lot of yards through the air.
Well, indeed, every time you go into a game plan, you want to balance attack. But what good teams do is they figure out where is the weakness coming from in this game. And I think Warren Central did a good job realizing that the Pike secondary was struggling and there were some gaps they could throw the ball down the field, and they capitalized on it. And so kudos to Warren Central for adapting in this situation to throw the ball down the field tonight.
And now the officials whistle. Let's resume play. QB sneak on third down. I don't think Powell has enough. Excellent work by that Pike defensive line. Looked like
Powell with the keeper.
Looked like Curtis was once again in on the stop.
Stop by the Red Devil defensive line. That brings up 4th down.
And so as you look with the play clock ticking down, less than 30 seconds to go, Pike will get less than 30 seconds themselves to work with the offense, maybe put themselves in position for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, and what it does basically still does is, there's enough time on the clock that they have to punt the ball. So Warren Central's probably going to run the clock all the way down, take a timeout, send the punt team out there and, kick the ball away. And there won't be much time on the clock, but at least Pike could come after this punt with everything that they have, try to block it, and maybe get a scoop and score because you're so close to the end of the end zone.
And now Warren Central will take their first time out of the first half. With 17.2 seconds to go. Again, you wonder about all the possibilities with only 17.2 seconds left, and a potential block punt could be one of those outcomes for this Pike team.
Well, it is. If you're on the punt block team right now, or you're the coach now special teams, there's a likelihood they might put 12 guys. It'll seem like 12 guys on the line, 11 guys on the line, and bring every single one of them and not put anybody back because it doesn't matter at that point in time. It's a strategy that a lot of coaches will go with, Josh, just to say, listen, if we block it, though, we're in a situation that we can block it, recover it, potentially for a score. And I think they might do that. If not, they're just going to maybe try to call for a fair catch or catch one Hail Mary opportunity, which could do the same thing for a team.
Well, if there's a guy on the field that can potentially make a difference with the blocked punts, it's at the top of your screen with Kyron Montgomery, number 9. He really does look like a man amongst boys out on that field right now.
And I'm telling you, they're going to start coming from every angle, I would think, to try to block this.
Max protection for Warren Central.
No, not really. Interesting.
And Jackson gets away a beauty. Fielded by Lamont Owens. Makes some men miss. And he's shut down quickly. Excellent stop made by Josiah Edmond.
I'm very perplexed by that situation, Josh. Either A, you put on a real strong punt return and you don't bring anybody like they didn't, and you try to block everybody, or B, you just put everybody on the line, you come after it and say, we're going to take a shot. And so I guess they think he has enough arm right now, and they can give him enough time to take one shot at the end zone and see if they can't pick up a cheap score here.
Of course, this is the best field position of the day for Pike, but it only comes with a precious 6 seconds left on the clock.
And no timeouts.
And no timeouts, yes, sir. Only possibility they can get another play is if they get a first down in a flash.
Looks like they're going to go trips right out here and throw the ball down the field and see what happens.
Well, let's see if Seidella has a 50-yard cannon on his arm. If this was NFL, this would be no issue, but high school, it's definitely a question.
All right, roll him out here towards the 3 wide receivers, and
Seidella unloads it downfield, and that is caught. Actually intercepted, rather. That is intercepted. Brian Stevens gets it with no time remaining. And that is the end of the first half. Warren Central leads the Pike Red Devils 17-14. We knew this was going to be a close game, but certainly encouraging for Warren Central given what they had to go through last week.
Well, I think a lot of people would have felt like, Pike was a favorite coming in this game, although Warren Central only winning once this year. Had a lot of talent out there. They've just been trying to put it all together. And tonight you're seeing Warren's play very well on defense and very well on offense, just not consistently yet. I think that's what Coach West is trying to get everybody to, is playing at that high level on an ongoing basis.
All right, out of the replay, like when it's about to end. All right. All right, slow A.
Again, a great half for Warren Central. And when we come back, we'll break down the first half and get you all set for the second half. You are tuning in to the MIC Network Game of the Week.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation Initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
Welcome back from Pike High School. We now turn it down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Will Matchett, who's down on the field with head coach Jason West.
Case, going into the locker room, what are you telling your offense? You know, what's the game plan?
Oh, well, we found a little something there in the second quarter, so we just got to keep going to that and variations off that. And if we can get a little run game, we can be, I think, successful in the second half.
And what an electrifying defense, you know, couple interceptions, and they've been just pounding the middle, making sure that Pike offense really has nothing going. So yeah, what's the game plan for the defense?
Run play, and then we got hit by one big pass, but we got to stop the run and make the downs predictable.
All right, yeah, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Warren Central. We'll send it back to you guys.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
2 vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Thank you, calling Pop Jones Cumberland. This is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Give me my Papa John's.
The cheese is my favorite. I love plain.
Is that Supreme?
Good.
I really like it.
They scored touchdowns here. You gotta be able to get these guys off the field to get the nice punt.
Yeah.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
At Tom Wood, we believe you can't put a price on peace of mind, so we don't. With Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage, you're protected for unlimited miles and unlimited time, all at no cost to you. Find the car you want, the way you want at tomwood.com.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want, the way you want at tomwood.com.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
2 vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want, the way you want at tomwood.com.
Thank you, calling Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
The pizza's here.
Give me my Papa John's.
The pizza's my favorite. I love the plane.
Is that Supreme?
Good.
I really like it.
They scored touchdowns here. You gotta be able to get these guys off the field to get ready to have a nice punt.
Yeah.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
At Tom Wood, we believe you can't put a price on peace of mind, so we don't. With Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage, you're protected for unlimited miles and unlimited time, all at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
Welcome back to Cross Cop Field at Pike High School. Side tonight's MIC Network Game of the Week. The Warren Central Warriors now lead 17-14 through 2 quarters. Once again, Josh Ayen joined alongside Travis Brown. And Travis, really good matchup back and forth. We saw some solid defense in the middle of this first half, but in between bookending were some solid plays offensively.
Travis is Mike. Travis is Mike. Harrington. Travis, your mic is muted.
And right now, everybody is in the situation where they're just trying to make halftime adjustments to make the second half even better.
Well, the scoring started with Warren Central's first possession, a Joe Jackson field goal. Got things rolling, but Pike answered really well with a bomb to Xavier Simpson. But then it seemed like this Warren Central defense kicked it up a notch and made things difficult for Pike.
Well, I think we saw the flashes of that Warren Central defense that we have been accustomed to. We saw them with the interceptions. We saw them with the 3-and-outs. We saw them be that tough, hard-nosed defense. We just didn't see it consistently enough, and that's why Pike has been able to put 14 points on the board, even with Warren Central playing such tough defense.
Well, we knew heading into that this matchup between Pike's offense and Warren Central's defense was going to be a strength-on-strength matchup. Through 2 quarters, who would you say has been the better side so far?
Well, I think, the scoreboard says that Warren Central is up by 3 points, but I think Pike has done a good job with the balance. Well, Warren Central's done the same thing, and I think both teams are probably relatively happy, but there's been some penalty mistakes. There have been, some drop passes. There's been interceptions. There's been bad punt return stuff. So classic high school football stuff, and I think the second half is going to really be about who can make the least amount of mistakes and put the ball in the end zone.
The biggest surprise in the first half, however, has been the play of Prince Powell, finally starting to tear apart some secondaries in this first half, and through 2 quarters, he's got 2 passing touchdowns, and you could make an argument, Travis, that he has actually outperformed Anthony Seidella through this first half.
Well, I think what Warren Central did a good job is allowing Prince Powell to throw the ball down the field. We see him make a lot of those quick little 2-yard passes to their talented wide receivers and let them make a play. But today we're putting him out there and giving him a chance to throw the ball down the field, and he's doing that and connecting. We see them roll him out of the pocket and give him a little bit of extra time. He's a lot more comfortable, again, throwing the ball down the field, making some plays.
Well, an exciting first 24 minutes of action. Still 24 to come in this second half on your MIC Network Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
2 vehicles, same model, same color, same price. The difference? The Tom Wood vehicle is a better value because it comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain coverage at no cost to you. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Thank you, Colin Pop Jones. Cumberland, this is Kyle speaking.
Is that Supreme? Good.
I really like network name they scored touchdowns here. You gotta be able to get these guys off the field to get the game. Nice punt.
Yeah.
Back from Paul C. Grosskopf Stadium at Pike High School. Side of tonight's MIC Network Game of the Week, the Warren Central Warriors lead 17-14 over the hosting Pike Red Devils. Again, Josh Engen joined alongside Travis Brown, Will Matchett, and Avia Owensby, the third and fourth members of our broadcast crew. As we take a quick look back at the series history between these two schools, Warren Central leads the all-time head-to-head 13-1. Travis, quick trivia question. Can you name that one time that Pike beat Warren Central? If you get this, I will get you a shakaroni courtesy of Papa John's.
07.
You are incorrect. It is back in 2012.
Oh.
That was actually the last time that Pike actually...
Well, heck no, it would have been 07. That was when Warren Central was on their run of state championships. I don't know what I was thinking. You know, my trivia is not that good. I didn't have time to Google it, Josh.
Well, their last win, I take that back. Their last win was back in September 27th of 2013. I mentioned 2012 because this record right now for Pike, they currently sit at 3-2. This is the best start to a season they've had since 2012. And they're also looking for their first 4-2 record since 2012. That year they finished 9-4 and as a sectional champion.
Well, Warren Central has a chance to do it tonight. I guess the question is going to be, who controls the momentum? That's what I'm looking for in the second half, Josh.
Lamont Owens has it for Pike as he's wrestled down past the 25, and that is where this Pike Red Devils offense will set up shop. Again, a mixed bag for this Pike offense, and they knew it was going to be a tall task against one of the best defenses in the state in Warren Central. And they've had some success towards the beginning and the end of the first half. It's that in-between that caused a lot of headaches for head coach Pat Echeverria.
Yeah, I think this is a big series for them to come out and establish some consistency, move the ball down the field, and basically not allow Warren Central's defense to be overly confident that they can stop them. And I think if Seidel is able to move this offense down the field, put points on the board, we're going to have a heck of a game in the second half.
Seidel begins out of the gun. Rolls to his right side, heaves it downfield, and that is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Xavier Simpson. Brian Stevens, the man to break that up. He got the interception at the end of the first half.
Yeah, just solid coverage right there, and, you know, the ball was probably thrown about a couple seconds too late, and that allowed Brian to recover and break up that pass right there. And just good defense and a little bit sluggish on offense, but I like the play called. Get him out of the pocket, let him throw the ball down the field.
And this has been a really impressive showing by this Warren Central secondary. Of course, playing a man down, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Lee Alexander, their super sophomore, out this week with a knee injury. His status for the rest of the season is unknown. On second down, it's a handoff to the left side, and that is bottled up once again. Warren Central's defense doing their job.
Well, that's what happens when you have a tough a defensive line that strung that play out, the corners strung that play out, and then all of a sudden there's a big bunch up, and there's nowhere to go as a running back right there, and they just stuffed that play. So that somebody got an individual tackle, but that was a defensive tackle right there.
One of the first guys there was Marcus Houston. Another fun fact for you, Travis, both Pike and Warren Central have a Marcus Houston on their team. Warren Central's Houston is 48. Pike's Houston is 39.
I like the fun facts.
We have a flag on the field.
Stand by 2, take 2.
Could be an illegal shift towards Pike.
Josh, definitely not what you want coming out of the gates, trying to build a little momentum like we talked about. You know, one of the things that is the momentum killer is unforced errors, which offsides and, you know, holdings and personal fouls. Those are things that do it to teams. And when you're playing against a team that has a good defense and you're struggling offensively, you know, that's not what you want to do.
So now 3rd and 18. Very unfavorable circumstances for Pike. Seidella with time, heaves it downfield, finds Eccles, who loses the ball. It is a live ball fumble recovery for Warren Central. There is a flag on the field, however. We'll see what comes out from that. But for now, Ahijah Sandifer, the linebacker, with a massive fumble recovery for Warren Central.
Yeah, I think it's going to stand. It looked like it was probably a holding on the offense, unless it was holding on the defense there, and then this ball will go back to Pike. But definitely a momentum changer if the ball does go to Warren Central.
And we will see the call from the head official. So the play will stand as called. Ahijah Sandifer, the 6-foot senior who recently got an offer from Millikan University at the Division III level, gets the fumble recovery for Warren Central, and they are in business in the Pike red zone.
Yeah, just a great defensive play right there, and being around the ball, and you know that's what Warren Central does so well, is they get guys around the ball, and when you do that and you're physical, good things happen. And now this becomes a momentum shift right now, is when Warren Central can put this ball in the end zone.
Powell starts out of the gun from the Pike 20-yard line. Drops back under pressure, heaves it downfield, and that is intercepted right back. Pike with the takeaway, and off to the races, but there is a flag downfield. Back towards where the interception was. That is Ross Gardner with his 3rd interception of the season. And I think this will stand, but Pike will more than likely start deep in their own field.
I don't know Powell's receiving tree and his options right there, but he was on that right hash, throwing a corner route all the way back across the field. Probably one of the most difficult passes that you can make as a quarterback to do that. You know, I love the idea to throw the ball down the field and try to put points on the board. I would have liked to have seen them do something a little bit safer and not challenge a throw all the way across the field. The interface, it's going to stick, and they're going to be you're going to get the ball back and see what Pike can do now.
So my speculation was correct. Ross Gardner's interception will stand, but a blindside block sets Pike up at their own 4-yard line. Last time Pike started that deep in their own field, their worst field position was back at their own 6-yard line early in the first half. That was a 3-and-out.
Well, this is like having another life if you're Pike. You came out, the momentum, because you had the ball, you threw or you turned it over, and Warren Central gave you a gift back. This is where you want to do the same thing, and now if you can mount a 98-yard drive, the momentum will be back on your side. Oh, my goodness.
And the ball is lost in the end zone. It's going to be a safety for Warren Central. And what a massive turn of events. Both teams trading turnovers back and forth. DeJuan Eccles is holding the football as if he has the touchdown.
No, it's a safety.
But it is going to be a safety. My goodness, Travis, what happened on that play?
You know, I wish I could see the replay right now because I couldn't tell if it was a bad snap or he just lost it from the very beginning. There was a miscommunication there, but ball was on the ground, and you know, I think they're lucky that they actually recovered. It was only a safety because Warren Central had some hungry guys trying to get a hold of that ball and you know, get another touchdown.
So
very unfortunate with this momentum shift back and forth because this was the time to make good on that.
So Warren Central can't fall on the loose ball, but it is 2 points on the board for the Warriors. That extends their lead 19-14 with 10:09 to go in this third quarter. Again, that just goes back to the point you made, Travis. Momentum changing plays. You think Warren Central got it after Pike's first possession. Pike got it right back, and then Warren Central snatches it right back from the Red Devils.
And this is high school football right here, you know. Right now they're not capitalizing on the opportunities. And I shouldn't say that's a challenge in college and in NFL as well, you know, but that's how you take it into your own hands, control your destiny, and you know, ultimately put a W out there.
So now a free kick for Matthew Murray. It'll be fielded by Khalil Howard at the 30-yard line. Howard explodes through down to the Warren Central 46-yard line. And some excellent field position for the Warriors.
So now, you know, I think what you might see, like, in this series here is Warren trying to take back control. And you know, I think in Warren's mindset, that means let's go run the football, let's go beat on them a little bit, and let's see what happens with that. I think you might see some of that happen from Warren Central right here versus airing it out.
Especially considering what Powell just did, throwing an interception that he probably wanted to have back.
Now, I would say, though, if they put this ball in the air and they throw it down the field, I like that aggressiveness. But as I suspected, they were going to run the ball and try to pound it down their throat a little bit.
So the play is blown dead, and it is so 5 yards from the spot, and Warren Central will now back up to their own 41-yard line. First penalty of the second half for Warren Central on the day. They have 7. Pike, meanwhile, only with 3 penalties. 4 penalties, excuse me. Powell, play action on first down. And he's flushed out, makes some men miss, past midfield. A flag is on the field as Prince Powell races out of bounds at the Pike 30-yard line. But that play may be coming back.
Starting to see a lot of those yellow hankies on the field, and it's it's crazy to see how much the momentum keeps swinging play after play. Great play. Oh, no, it's not, you know. Fumble, oh, you know, turnover, safety.
10 by 4. 10 by 4.
So the flag is marked at the Pike 47-yard line. Mark it back 10 yards, and now Pike faces a first and long from their own 43. So really a net gain of 2 yards after a false start to begin the drive.
Yeah, definitely a great run by Prince Powell, getting outside the pocket, making a guy miss, and then using his legs to make a play. Unfortunate for Warren that there was a penalty there, but good to see him get outside the pocket and run.
The confidence is starting to grow with this young signal caller as he throws it out in the flat to his man. That is Jermaine Watson with a big catch, and the ball is loose. The ball is loose. Pike says they have it, but the far side judge is saying Watson was down before the ball came out.
Well, I know, Josh, there's a lot of whistles being blown right now on plays back and forth, and we're just a couple of minutes into the second half. So this is going to be an interesting second half for sure.
Well, the PA announcer is saying that Warren Central recovered the fumble, so nonetheless it is 2nd and 9 from the 47-yard line. It's like neither team really wants to take control of this game, Travis.
Both teams are just struggling to try to put something in place.
Powell under pressure finds Delgado once again.
Woo!
Down past the 40. And Delgado laying the hit stick on Ross Gardner.
Not only did he do it, but he let him know that he did it when he got up, and just a little bit of that confidence now coming out in Warren Central.
13-yard gain for the wide receiver, the 6'1 junior. Again, Delgado is continuing to blossom as a primary receiver for this Warren Central offense. Certainly a lot different offense that we saw from last week, and this is exactly what Jason West wants to see in the second half of the offense, constant improvement. Powell drops back on first down.
There he is.
Hesitates, and it is out of bounds. Michael Clark comes up with the grab, but he was shoved out of bounds first.
And the challenge right there is that Prince threw to the wrong receiver because he had Delgado wide open in the middle of the field right there. And Delgado kind of looked at him and said, please, just pass me the ball. I was wide open. I wanted to take it to the house.
Under 8.5 to go. Warren Central still ahead by 5 and trying to make this a 2-score game. And you wonder what this Warren Central defense, too, if a 2-score lead actually might be insurmountable.
Well, I don't know anything is insurmountable in this game right now, Josh.
That is very true.
The way the ball is being put on the deck and tossed around, so we'll see.
And Prince Powell, with some miscommunication, has to call Warren Central's first timeout of the second half. We want to take this time to thank the MIC Athletic Directors for their continued support of the MIC Network Game of the Week. This week, in particular, we want to shout out the Athletic Director for Pike High School, Mr. David Paddock, and Warren Central's Athletic Director, Mr. Marcus Clayton. So again, with 8:21 to go, Warren Central ahead at 19-14.
Well, this just goes to show in the MIC, obviously, we know Center Grove is just really dominant right now, and LC is really struggling. And, in between that, there's just a lot of teams that are talented enough, if they can put 4 quarters together, that they can beat anyone. We saw Lawrence Central early on in the season, and they almost beat LN, and probably should have. And now they're struggling to compete with anybody. But my point is that there's so much talent on these fields. It's about who has the best scheme, and who shows up and plays, and then how consistently they play. And right now we're just seeing a lot of up and down between these two teams on the football field.
Some score updates from around the MIC. Lawrence North trailing Ben Davis 14-10 late third quarter. Center Grove continuing to pour it on against the last place Lawrence Central Bears, leading 66-0. We figure there'd be some close games between these two teams right here, as well as Ben Davis and Lawrence North and North Central and Carmel. But man, Center Grove and Lawrence Central, that is another story entirely, as Warren Central completes another pass for a first down.
Yeah, good job rolling them out, getting him in a situation. Wide open receivers run down the field and play a little pitch and catch.
11-yard gain for Michael Clark as he continues to be one of those go-to guys for this Warren Central team. Clark, one of the only returning starters for Warren Central heading into this season.
Yeah, it is a tough, you say reloading year for Warren Central, trying to, bring up this group together. And the sophomore class for Warren Central that, Chris Johnson's a part of, is a really powerful class, and they have a lot of high expectations. There's several other guys that are out there on both sides of the ball that are playing, and the sophomore class will be a pillar class for Warren Central for the next couple of years.
There's definitely a lot to like about Chris Jordan, but just take a look at this Warren Central defense and notice how many guys it takes to bring him down. At least 3-4 guys on that stop.
Yeah, he's a big old school power football guy, and that's been one of Warren Central's staples in their football program is having a really solid running game, and I think they're just now getting around to it. We saw glimpses of it last week at Ben Davis, and we'll see if they turn it upfield this week.
Powell with some open field. Makes one man miss, and he walks into the end zone, but a flag is on the field. That touchdown may be coming back.
Well, what it looks like he threw the flag on looked like pretty insignificant contact, and especially it had not really much to do with the play right there. I can't imagine that being a clip.
We will see the officials in just a moment, but for now, a 27-yard scamper by Prince Powell.
It looks like the PAT team is still coming on the field, so looks like Warren knows something that we don't.
The official was talking to Jason West too, so again, we will get the call momentarily.
And it might have been a situation that
I did not expect that. So Prince Powell with a 27-yard rushing touchdown that stands his 4th rushing touchdown of the season and his 7th overall. Prince Powell taking over in this game for Warren Central.
That was a classic scenario where he just willed that play to victory. He got loose a little bit, made a couple people miss, turned on those burners, got there. When Coach West was talking to us that first week, he was talking about as soon as Prince Powell realizes how good that he can be, he's going to go to another level. And once he gets that, and I think we're starting to see some of that confidence both with his feet and the way he's been throwing the ball. Even though he threw a pick the last series, I mean, if you take that out right there, he's played a pretty good game with throwing the football and running the football. And
And we want to thank the folks at Front Runner Media for providing video services for the MIG Network Game of the Week. Also thanks to the MIG Network Media team made up of students and participants in the Next Generation Initiative. So again, to recap this second half, Travis, turnovers aplenty, but the most costly one was a fumble in the end zone that resulted in a safety favoring Warren Central. Of course, Warren Central gets the possession coming off the safety, and Prince Powell scampers into the end zone, a 9-point swing for Warren Central over the span of the last few minutes.
Well, football is a game of opportunities. And, when Pike has had opportunities, they just haven't capitalized on them. And what we're seeing right now is Warren Central is starting to capitalize on these opportunities and actually string some things together. I think people look at Warren Central's record and they don't realize how good they actually are based upon they gave that game away last week at Ben Davis. If they won this game tonight, they're back in the middle of things right now. They have the talent out there. They just have to put it all together consistently. And Pike, who came into this game favored with the ball rolling a little bit, I think this has got to be disappointing for them right now because they could have really controlled this game early on and just haven't made the right plays at the right time.
Well, if there's anything you should know about this Red Devils team, Travis, is that never count this team out. I don't know if you tuned in 2 weeks ago when Pike traveled up to Carmel, but they found themselves down by multiple scores as there's an onside kick. Joe Jackson pulling a Pat McAfee, and he recovers the kick.
Wow, what a great call right there. And I don't know who on Jason West's staff made that call right there, but just a heads-up call in an opportune time. Again, I know it sounds like I'm talking about the same things, but opportunity, capitalization, and turning that into momentum.
Well, I'll give you again. I bet you that was Jason West coming up with the play. I mean, just talking with him the last couple of weeks, special teams is his thing.
That is right. He said our offensive defensive coordinators, they don't let me do as much as I used to, and he said, but special teams are my thing, and I think that's just a great call right there to put more pressure on Pike.
So Joe Jackson on the far sideline hoisting the blood belt. And Warren Central's offense is back in business at the Pike 35. This game is starting to snowball out of control for the Red Devils.
Well, it is, and I think the challenge for the Red Devils is, not that they can't come back, with down 2 scores by any means, because there's a whole lot of football to be played, right? You got a quarter and a half still, but the momentum is moving so fast, and if they have to be in a situation they just have to sit back and just throw the football, it's not a good situation to be in against Warren's defense.
Powell starts out of the gun, trip set, and it's a handoff to Rodney Johnson. The first time we've called his name tonight. Johnson picks up a couple of yards down to the 33-yard line.
And now what I suspect is there's probably going to be some ground and pound happening right now to start running the clock, lure them to sleep a little bit with that, and then throw the ball over the top of them and put some points on the board if I'm guessing. But, Warren Central will be happy just to run this ball 10 times from there all the way down to the end zone, getting 3 yards a pop and run the clock.
Under 6.5 to go. Still plenty of time for Pike to recover, but Warren Central has full control of this game. Powell in the flat to Delgado. Doesn't have much running room, and a good stop made by Anthony Ledford.
And I think I've said this a couple times, Josh, but those quick-hitting passes are just like a run. It's like the old-school sweep where you would toss the ball and the guy would run all the way around the corner. Well, that's all they do with those wide receivers. They snap that ball to him so quick, he gets it, and it's kind of like running a sweep, and they get a few yards. Safe pass, not much risky. And if he breaks a tackle or two, then, he can make something significant happen.
3rd and 6 for Warren Central at the 31-yard line. Line to gain is the 25 as Powell with time to throw off his back foot, and that is incomplete. Definitely an off-balance throw for Powell, one that he wishes he would have back.
Yeah, it looked like, when you're rolling the opposite way of your throwing hand, you got to get your shoulders turned right there so you can throw. And it looked like he went to get his shoulders turned and just got off balance right there. And like you said, he definitely wishes he could have that one back.
So Joe Jackson coming onto the field now. This is potential field goal territory, and it looks like that is what Jason West will elect to do. It will be a 48-yard attempt, excuse me. Snap, ball down, kick on the way. It looks no good. It is no good. So Joe Jackson, 1 of 3 on the day, and Pike actually has some great field position after the sudden change.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that we used to do when I was in college was we would have to go through drills where the offense practice on when there's a turnover, getting on the field and trying to capitalize. And as a defensive player, getting on the field and trying to stop that momentum. And Pike has done that several times tonight where they turned the ball over, threw the interception, big punt return, yet they were able to stop Warren's offense and really keep him in this game. I mean, Warren has definitely outplayed them from a defensive perspective, special teams perspective tonight. And so for Pike to only be down 2 scores, they're pretty lucky to be in a situation because right now, one good play, and they're only down a score, and they're back in this football game.
So Pike will start this drive from the 20. One interesting surprise for me, at least, no sign of Akeem Abdur-Rahim. He's gotten at least 1 or 2 series in every game this season, but so far we have yet to see him as Gabe Carr gets the first down handoff and breaks it outside to the 27-yard line.
And I haven't seen him play it, so in fairness to him, I don't know all of his skill sets, but if you're behind in a football game and you need to be able to sit back and throw the ball down the field, I'm hard-pressed to believe that he has a better arm or better pocket presence than Anthony Seidela does. And so that's why now you're kind of in a situation going, man, we're going to have to throw the ball down the field. We might have to ride our guy out and see if he can put the ball down there to our receivers.
In the flat, caught by Lamar Eccles. And another flag on the field, as that might be going once again against Pike.
Got to be a holding on the wide receiver right there because that play, when they run that quick pass to the field, by the field I mean the wide side where there's more field, it's such a long pass and that ball takes so long to get there. If that corner does his job he can get past that wide receiver and blow up the play, and that's exactly what you just saw right there in that scenario. And I think that's one of those interesting things about play calls for me is thinking about throwing the ball all the way across the field right there. That's not a quick hitting play. It takes time to develop, a lot more risk, and puts the wide receiver in a bad situation to try to block him.
All the way back to the 16-yard line. Pike now faces a 2nd and long. Line to gain is the 30-yard line. Seidela, play action, out in the flat again. And a good job on the play by Chris Mitchell to pick up those penalty yards and then some, bringing up 3rd and short.
You know, Josh, what I've noticed on both sides is when their quarterbacks are in quick passing situations, man, their percentages are significantly greater. You know, we don't have the ESPN team right here to give me all those stats and tell me exactly what it is, but if it was, I'm telling you, when they are 3-step drops, meaning 1, 2, 3, and the ball's out of their hands, they're throwing the ball and they're completing it. It's when they get in longer situations that they're not doing that.
3rd and 4 for this Pike Red Devil offense in desperate need of a first down. Seidela with time, out in the, and he finds his man Dandridge off to the races past the 30, and he won't be caught from behind. Touchdown, Pike Red Devils.
Well, that's what happens if you go for the big play like the safety did in that situation and you don't make it. There's nobody behind you, and now they're putting 6 points on you, and they're watching your highlights on ESPN getting beat. That's why he's in that position, still throwing that football, and he's bringing them back in this game.
Ajay Dandridge with his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season. And that brings Pike back to a 1-score game, trailing 26-20 with just over 4 minutes to go.
And there's life right there. That's that momentum thing swinging really fast where Warren Central had an opportunity to put some more points on the board, put some nails in the coffin. Instead, they left the door open. In fact, Josh, they threw down a welcome mat and said, come on in, let's play this football game.
Score is now 26-21. Javier Juarez, 3 for 3 on the day with PATs. Like I said, Travis, do not count out this Pike offense. We saw exactly what they were able to do as they came back against Carmel 2 weeks ago, coming up just short in double overtime, unfortunately due to a missed 2-point conversion attempt.
I'll tell you what, them cheerleaders, their muscles getting big down there with all these points on the board today, banging them out. I'll tell you what, 21 push-ups aren't as easy as it seems, but that's what's happening here at Pike because they're putting points on the board. Now, here's the key. Can they get a stop, get the ball back, and put another score on the scoreboard, Josh?
How about this for another back-and-forth ball game? Ben Davis leads Lawrence North 21-17. Early 4th quarter. Meanwhile, Carmel leads North Central 24-14. And a final from Center Grove High School. Center Grove beats Lawrence Central 66-0. You bet that running clock was in as soon as the second half kicked off.
Yeah, there's some tough scores right there, but there's some really good ones too. And I don't know who's going to compete with Center Grove this year. I don't know if there's a team outside the MIC that's good enough, but right now they are just have things rolling. I think everybody else is kind of in the middle, and that's exactly what we have going on right here at Pike.
You have Kyle Nenenrip, our partner with the Indy Star, writing his opinion piece this week. Can we just hand Center Grove the trophy already? As the kickoff is returned for Warren Central, a penalty is on the field, however.
Another penalty.
We've seen plenty of the Yellow Hankies in the second half.
Be humble. See, I'm telling you, Josh, they got the music going. There's not a big crowd here at Pike, but when that wide receiver broke through the line right there, broke the secondary, you saw all these social distance people out here screaming and hollering. I don't know what happened with their masks, but I do know this. There's a lot of excitement out there, and now they're playing some Kendrick Lamar, and they're even more hype.
I see you, Travis, jamming right next to me. If our announcer cam is on Travis right now, you see him jamming out
Yeah, I told you this is.
I bet you this message right now, be humble, is a message to that Warren Central defense. You know, it felt really well after 2.5 quarters, but that touchdown to Ajay Dandridge, that certainly sent a message to the Warren Central defense.
Yeah, well, and I think Jason West said this best. He said, I hope our team just doesn't drink, our defense doesn't drink too much of their Kool-Aid. And you know, that happened a little bit on that play right there because they got aggressive and tried to make the big knockout play.
So a hold brings Warren Central all the way back to the 10. Prince Powell with a good read finding Jeremiah Hernandez, but it was too far ahead of him.
I like the play call right there. It was a quick hitter. That's exactly what just happened to them. So I love the gamesmanship to come back and try to do the same thing to Pike that they just did to them and get that ball rolling. But Warren has to be careful here because a 3-and-out could be very devastating to the momentum game. And giving Pike the ball back right now is something you definitely don't want to do.
Powell out of the gun on second down, rolling left, heaves it downfield and through his intended target's hands. That was Jermaine Watson.
Yeah, they ran a 3-receiver route with one guy deep, one guy shallow, and one guy in the middle right there. And you know what? Pike just did a good job covering right there. Wasn't very many places for him to go. So, you know, you try to force a ball in there, but kudos to Pike's defense right now because they got their own Kool-Aid flowing.
And here's a big play this late into the third quarter. Pike with a chance to get a 3-and-out and flip the field position back in their favor.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want. This is a big stop, a big third down. You know, Pike needs to get a stop right here to change the momentum.
Throw downfield is complete to Jermaine Watson. He's got the first down and more down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 17.
It's a very dangerous pass right there, but it worked out well, and the chains are moving for Warren Central.
And again, we're seeing Prince Powell take some monumental steps in his development tonight. As he works out of the gun on first down. Handoff to Rodney Johnson, and he's wrapped up quickly. Good stop made by this Pike defense. That might have been Frank Akinsami in on the stop.
Yeah, you know, the defensive line of Pike has done a good job all night. Secondary's been a little bit wishy-washy throughout time, and right there you had a great job of that big D line creating a plug up the middle.
Second down. Powell working out of the shotgun once again. Drops back. Running out of time. Evades one rusher. He throws it out of bounds. Delgado might have had a chance. Hernandez might have had a chance to come up with the catch.
You know, I know Pike's secondary has got lit up a few times this year, and they made some tough plays tonight. But I'll tell you, they're doing a heck of a job covering this Warren Central talented group of receivers here, especially with Prince playing as well as he's playing tonight. So hats off to the Red Devil secondary because they're doing a good job of making some plays. They just got to stay deep at the defense, and they can't let the big play happen.
Another 3rd and 10. Powell rolling out once again. Under pressure, and he falls out of bounds. That might be a late hit, and that is very ill-advised play. Josh Woods was the guy that shoved Powell out of bounds.
Well, very unfortunate. Well, first of all, Powell looks like he's okay. He's up and heading back, hobbling a little bit. But just a mental mistake. Listen, you did your job. You did exactly what you wanted to do, and the guy is 3 yards out of bounds, and you tackle him. Now they throw the flag, and it's a 15-yard penalty, and, you know, very unfortunate. And you know what? And not that this was the intent, but that's how also you hurt players. That's the type of play right there, and just there's no need for that. And let me reiterate, I know the player didn't do that purposefully, but those are just mental mistakes that really have a negative effect on the football game.
So a 15-yard penalty on Woods, the 5'11 sophomore, filling in for an injured Kyson Allen. And take a look at this. A new quarterback coming in for Warren Central as Prince Powell gets a breather from the sidelines. Daniel Tippett, a 5'9" sophomore, checking in for the Warren Central Warriors.
And he's one of those highly talented sophomores that we were talking about, and played in some big games and some of those big all-star games, and he's not scared, I can tell you that, coming out here to play on Friday night.
Tippett works out of the gun on first down. Handoff up the middle to Jordan. He's brought down quickly. Excellent stop made by number 98 for Pike. That is Ralph Gardner, the 6'1" junior.
I think what Warren Central has to be careful of is that now without Powell, that they get away from their offense. You got to put that rookie out there in a position that he can succeed, yet you can't just start running the ball because this Pike defense will shut that down. He's going to have to be able to do some of the things that Powell did to keep Warren in this game.
Tippett on play action. Overthrows his man. That could have been intercepted too. You had Michael Clark for Warren Central in on the play, as well as Joseph Jefferson in the secondary for Pike.
Yeah, right play call and just didn't get that executed. He's probably a little bit juiced up. The nerves are going a little bit, the adrenaline, and missed that wide open receiver right there because, man, he would have been having a hard time to figure out where to stop in that red Pike end zone if he had caught that ball.
So here we go again, third time now. 3rd and long for Warren Central. Pike failed to bring a stop on the last 2 times.
There he is, he's open.
Tippett throws it and throws a dart to Jeremiah Hernandez. He's down at the Pike 43-yard line for a first down.
And what I love is the confidence that Warren Central has in their young quarterback and put him in there and saying, hey, you got to go throw the football. I know every team says next man up is the mantra, but there are a lot of teams out there that actually have the talent to be able to do it, and we'll see how Tippett does here in the rest of this third quarter.
Tippett's first completion goes for 15 yards. Play action again. That one is nearly intercepted. Joseph Jefferson couldn't scoop the ball off the turf.
Yeah, that's a good throw right there, and he got that ball out quick. As you can see, he's got a super quick release and putting that ball out there right there. And probably just, like I said, a little bit extra adrenaline, and I'm throwing a little bit high and probably a little bit hot right now to the receivers. And the other thing is that Warren Central's used to Powell, however hard he throws the ball and how quick he gets it out, and now you're trying to adjust to a new quarterback.
7 in the box for Pike. As Tippett works out of the gun under pressure, and he's brought down for the first time. Jake Curtis with his first sack of the season, and that is a big one.
Yeah, that's a great play right there for Pike coming off the corner right there, basically unabated. And you can't, if you're Warren Central, that offensive line, like you can't leave your young quarterback in that situation. You got to protect him, especially with that left tackle.
We have an injured Red Devil down on the field. 3rd and long coming up after this break.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Back from Pike High School, side of tonight's Mick Network Game of the Week. Anthony Ledford, the injured defensive back for Pike, jogged back to the sideline. Thankfully, he is okay. And Travis Brown, a big 3rd down coming up after Jake Curtis notched his first sack of the season.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd down right now in this game, and with the young quarterback, we'll see if he has the composure.
Tippett dancing around in the pocket. More time to throw, and this time he's brought down once again. Josh Woods, after getting a 15-yard late hit penalty, redeems himself with that sack.
Well, on the defensive side of this is what we call a coverage sack. He really had nowhere to throw the ball. When you look down the field, everybody was open, or everybody was covered. and he scrambled a little bit, and still nobody was open, and so he had to eat that ball and take another sack.
So now Malachi Smith and Lamont Owens are set to return for Pike. Short punt. It takes a Warren Central bounce inside the 10-yard line. Another beauty from Joe Jackson.
I think one of the special teams things that I'm noticing, this has happened to the Pike a couple times, where their punt returners aren't going to catch the ball, and it's costing them that extra 10, 15, or earlier we saw it cost them almost 25 yards. Listen, if you're scared to go back there and catch a football, then you shouldn't be in that position. You got to go up there and you got to catch that ball so it's not bouncing down the sideline like that.
So rough field position once again, the second time in this half that Pike has had to start a drive from inside their own 10. Last time that happened, Travis, that resulted in a safety.
It did, and now with the score, a 5-point game here, it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Pike is that deep in the end zone.
Here's Darius Williams with a lane.
There's a holding. There's a holding.
And there is a hold, you said it. But for now, Williams gets shoved out of bounds at the 35. Make that Gabe Carr with the run. But nonetheless, that impressive run is wiped out once again by a penalty. Pike just keeps shooting themselves in the foot.
Cam Green, the wide receiver to that side right there, he engaged the guy, which you can do. And you can actually, Josh, it's going to sound weird, but you can actually hold. So you can engage the guy with his jersey, but when he tries to break free of you, you have to be able to let him go. And as soon as you keep holding, the referee can see now what that hold looks like, and that's exactly happened to number 29, Cam Green, in that situation. Unfortunate because it was a good run and probably didn't make the difference.
Carr's run and the holding. So 10 yards from the spot of the foul, it's now 1st and 9 for Pike at their own 9-yard line. And we're getting a very frustrated Pike crowd. You could hear the boos raining down after the last penalty. And another timeout on the field.
Third quarter is over.
That is actually the end of the third quarter. Close back and forth battle. Warren Central, however, leads 26-21. Stick around, folks. An exciting finish is coming up on this week's Big Network Game of the Week.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
Welcome back to Pike High School. Side of tonight's MIC Network Game of the Week. The Warren Central Warriors are 12 minutes away from getting their second win of the season. They lead 26-21 over the 3 and 2 Red Devils. Again, Josh Ayen joined alongside Travis Brown. And some more score updates from around the MIC. Lawrence North retaking the lead over Ben Davis, leading 24-21. Of course, another final score from Center Grove. They continue their undefeated season, now 6-0 after a 66-0 win over Lawrence Central. Meanwhile, at North Central, Carmel leads 31-14 at the end of the third quarter.
Well, I think what we've seen is just 2 6A powerhouse football programs. Although they've both been struggling a little bit this year, off and on, they came to play tonight. And they're both throwing blows back and forth. And it's been a tough game out there. And, there's 12 minutes to go on the clock. I'm not sure if I'd rather be Pike down 5 with my starting quarterback or Warren Central up 5, knowing that your quarterback might be out for the rest of this game.
So Pike begins this drive from their own 9, a gain of 1 after that handoff. Gabe Carr receives the carry down to the 10-yard line. 90 yards separating Pike from their first lead since the first half. Again, a good back and forth battle between two teams. that are really trying to get some momentum ahead of sectionals beginning at the end of October. Chris Mitchell, the tight end, in motion on 2nd and 8. Seidela running out of time, has to roll out, and he's brought down from behind. An excellent play made by DeJuan Eccles.
Yeah, that's a what is that? Defensive lineman right there, running down the defensive end, running a quarterback down. Man, what some athleticism right there to make that type of play. Looks like he may have caught a cleat though, and is a little bit shaken up. And this is a big 3rd down if you're Pike.
2-yard gain. It could have been a lot more if not for Eccles' shoestring tackle. We have a timeout on the field. Warren Central will call their 2nd timeout. They are down to 1 timeout left in this half.
Well, defensive coordinator Russ Mann must have saw something there that he just didn't like, and if the defensive coordinator is calling the timeout right now, they know how big of a play this can be for the entire game. I think what's going to be interesting to see, Josh, as we move down this 4th quarter is one defense really step up and shut somebody down, and is an offense going to put a couple touchdowns on the board maybe and give some security?
Well, Papa John's is hiring delivery drivers at all our Indianapolis and surrounding locations. You must be 18 years old, have a great attitude, have at least 6 months of driving experience, a clean driving record, and insurance. Apply online at papajohns.com to set up your interview or text JOBS to 47272. So if you are offensive coordinator Dylan Gandy, Travis, what do you dial up here on this 3rd down?
Well, I'm probably going to roll out my quarterback a little bit to the right, to that trip side right there, and I'm going to try to get a matchup situation where I got those 3 wide receivers against 3 defensive backs right there, and one's going to go deep, and one's going to come short, and one's going to go in the middle, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to put the ball in one of their hands.
Seidela backs to throw, throws it, and that is caught! Chris Mitchell has it off to the races, and he's down past the 40-yard line. An incredible play once again for Chris Mitchell. And Pike with a massive 3rd down conversion.
Well, hold on, Josh. Did that ball bounce out of the first receiver's hand into his hands? It kind of looked like that happened. We don't have a replay monitor, so I can't re-watch that, but it looked like that's what happened, and a well-defended play by Warren Central turns into a lucky play for Pike.
That lucky break for Mitchell winds up in a 30-yard catch and run. And the official telling the DJ, we got too much grooving going on right now.
The DJ is funky fresh up in here and making it happen here at Pike.
Well, Seidela, handoff on 1st down, another flag on the field. It might be a pre-snap penalty, and if so, another potential 5-yard loss. Already 5 penalties in this 2nd half for Pike.
And does look like that's a pre-snap type situation. And this is what we keep talking about, Josh. You can't make these kind of mistakes. Warren Central's defense is tough enough. Don't give them an extra 5 yards and try to make it a 1st and 15.
Back them up 5 yards, and Pike is now at the 37-yard line. 6 penalties in this 2nd half for 50 yards, Travis.
It just hurts the momentum. It hurts everything that you're building, and it's just one of those situations that coaches just cringe when we call those those mental mistakes that seem to be continue to be made.
Seidela out of the gun on 1st and long. Play action. Over the middle, finds Xavier Simpson. Stops and stutters, and still on his feet past the 35, and finally wrestled down to the 30. Xavier Simpson finally coming alive in the final quarter as there is a late flag once again.
Well, I don't know what this flag is right here, but man, if it's anything on Pike's side, it's going to be super disappointing to see that kind of thing happen right there. But hey, not to take away from the great offensive play, moving the ball down the field, the momentum. Good work, Pike offense.
For now, a 33-yard reception by Simpson. But some of that yardage may be coming back after this penalty. It was thrown around Simpson after the play. So wipe out half of the yards gained by Simpson. And instead of going to the Warren Central 30, they now have to go back to the Warren Central 45.
Yeah, it's just these are those things that just make it so much difficult when you have the momentum going. And these are things that coaches start preaching about and talking about and creating discipline around. Going every time for every penalty, there you start having penalties that show up in practice and running and discipline. And I'm sure Pike is going to be working on that.
Just over 9 minutes to go. Empty backfield for Seidella. Time to throw, even it downfield, and that is incomplete. Lamar Eccles had a step on Devion Holman, but Seidella was unable to get it to his man.
Well, Holman was definitely beaten that situation right there, and Lamar Eccles had him 2 or 3 steps on him, and just those are the balls that you got to be able to play that easy game of pitch and catch. And I'm sure Seidella would like to have that throw back, because that would have been 6 points and put them up on the Warren Central Warriors.
Keemon Turner, the second down handoff with some running room, and DeJuan Eccles brings him down for behind, but not before picking up 5 yards.
Yeah, that's a good grounding play where you just need to gain a little bit of yardage, control everybody, make everybody feel comfortable. You still have a manageable third down, and really, based upon the position you are on the field, this might be 4-down territory. Not because you have to, but you get in a situation that you're too deep for your field goal kicker to make it. If you punt it, you might gain 10, 15 yards, and you get confidence in your offense to put a little pressure. And now that changes the call for third down if you're thinking it's 2-down territory.
Another critical third down. Play action. And that is batted away. Xavier Simpson, the intended target. And Devion Holman, rather, DeJuan Eccles bats that away.
Yeah. And Trez Reed came flying in there as well, and that was one of those situations that could have got ugly real quick. And as a DB, you're super excited when you see that happen, because you're thinking pick 6 all day long and take that thing to the house.
So with 8:20 to go, Pike head coach Pat Echeverria will opt to keep the offense on the field, and why wouldn't you? You don't know if you're going to get another possession in this game, given how Warren Central's offense is operated. But this is a critical play for both sides. Mitchell, the tight end, in motion. Seidella rolling left side in the flat to Carr, and he's brought down short of the first down. What a stop! Andrew Nelson denies Gabe Carr short of the line to gain, and Warren Central will take over on downs.
Well, man, that is such a big-time play right there by a DB coming up and making that play right there. Woo-hoo! I'm telling you, if you like defensive football right there, I mean, that's a big-time play right there. And he came up and he made that play right there, and that might be one of the most important plays for the game. Did we say that was Nelson?
That was Andrew Nelson on the stop.
I mean, and for a linebacker out in the open field to be able to do that, that's big time.
And it looks like Prince Powell is back in after Daniel Tippett did an admirable job on the last series. He hands it off on first down. A good pickup for this Warren Central offense.
And now I want to see if Warren Central has enough in the tank to have their offensive line blow off the ball, move them off the ball, and run the ball and get a couple first downs and burn a little bit of clock.
It looks like Damon Massey, number 20, is on the field for the first time. He got that first down carry. 2nd and 6 from the 40. Powell under center. Another handoff. Back to Massey. And only a couple of yards on that carry.
Now this is my kind of football. The old school power, I formation, the true fullback, the tailback, running off tackle. Man, it brings back a lot of good memories, Josh, of high school football, thinking about the old I formation.
Massey will check out. Chris Jordan back in on this 3rd and short. Call it 3rd and 4 from the 42. Need to get to the 46 for a first down.
And this should be like a rollout and give Prince an opportunity to throw the ball or maybe use his legs to get that first down.
Instead, it's a quick throw, and it is incomplete. The ball hit the turf. Ball was intended for Delgado, and Delgado unable to hang on to it. Pike's defense does their job with a 3 and out.
Well, not so fast, Josh. It looks like Warren Central's trying to decide. Okay, now they sent their great job with that Pike defense getting that 3 and out right there. Although, you got to understand that they didn't stop them. Warren Central stopped themselves. I mean, that ball hit him right in the chest. Easy first down and moving the chains. They just didn't execute.
Joe Jackson back to punt. He has been excellent in the kicking game today. And he gets away another boomer.
Josh.
And the ball is loose. Pike tried to field it. It last hit Pike, and it will stay with the Red Devils. There is a flag on the field at the end of the play.
I think he dropped a flag just to know where to mark that ball right there. But, you know, I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again, and I might have to say it again. But, listen, if you're a punt returner and that ball landed 3 yards from where you started, that means you weren't in the frame of mind and have enough confidence to come catch that ball. Listen, whoever's running Pike special teams, get somebody in there that can go catch a punt. And it's not easy. Catching punts is one of the most difficult, challenging things to do. And I dropped my fair share of them, but you got to have somebody who's confident enough to go catch that.
At the end, the PA announcer announced Warren Central football. An unbelievable turn of events as the returner was unable to field the ball. Rather, it looked like a Pike gunner touched the ball and Warren Central was able to fall on it. So Warren Central now in the Pike red zone with a chance to make this a 2-score game with under 6.5 to go.
Yeah, just a very unfortunate turnover for Pike because a punt returner won't catch the ball. You got people running down the field. Now, he should have been at least telling everybody there's a call you have for that, Josh. You yell Peter, and Peter, you scream it out loud. That tells everybody else who doesn't know that you didn't catch the ball and trying to block their man to get away. And that didn't get executed out there. And the ball got turned over, and that might be that last little nail in the coffin of this game.
Well, we will see, as Warren Central has been in this position before. Last time Warren Central was this deep in Pike territory, they scored. Can they score here? That is broken up. Ross Gardner with a critical breakup on Joe Walker, bringing up 2nd down.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that play call right there. You know, if you look at this, if you look at what this matchup is like, and you know, you got a 6'4" wide receiver and Joe Walker right there, and you know he's going against the DB that's nowhere near that same size right there, and so that's a mismatch. In fact, I wouldn't be mad if they just did it again.
Powell under center, handoff up the middle to Ronnie Johnson, and he has more than half of the yards needed for a first down, brought down at the 6-yard line. Another critical third down coming up.
And this is that fade play right there where you're just saying, hey, if you believe your guy is better than their guy, then you can throw it to them. You know, several years ago, this is what they could do with a David Bell, right? You just line a guy up, hey, my best guy against your best guy, and we're going to see who wins.
Under 6 minutes to go. Warren Central ahead by 1 score, trying to make this a 2-possession game and perhaps put the game out of reach from the Red Devils. Powell facing 3rd and 4. Drops to throw under pressure, has to get rid of it, and it is incomplete. Excellent pressure by the Pike defensive line. Kyron Montgomery was one of the guys that forced the issue, and Joe Jackson will be coming out to attempt a chip shot field goal.
And this is also an important field goal too, just, you know, making it a full score game. In this case, 8 points. That means when Pike does score, or if they do score again, they got to at least go for 2 to even tie it up. So Joe's missed a couple of these today. This is a big one for him to knock down for the Warriors.
23 yards from the far hash. Joe Jackson, 1 of 3 on the day. And that one leaves no doubt.
And that was a kick that we haven't seen from him yet today. The other ones have been like, you know, a muff pitching wedge. That ball, he kicked that thing solid through the uprights with a lot of confidence, and that's why Coach West has had so much confidence watching him kick all these field goals today.
So now it is an 8-point game. 29 to 21. We will take a short break. You are watching the MIC Network Game of the Week.
So we don't. With Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage, you're protected for unlimited miles and unlimited time. All at no cost to you. Find the car you want, the way you want at tomwood.com.
Back from Pike High School side of tonight's MIC Network Game of the Week. If you're just joining us, it's been another solid matchup in the Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference. Warren Central leads this one 29 to 21, leading since the late minutes of the first half.
And not to get sidetracked, but I forget that's what MIC actually stands for. We just say MIC so often that I forget that's what it actually stands for. But
such a tongue twister, right?
You know,
that's why hardly anybody says it.
That's right. It's the MIC, and we know what MIC football means is 2 battle house teams going after it.
Joe Jackson boots this one from the 40. Lamar Eccles set to return. He fields it from the 10, and he's brought down quickly. Excellent stop made by Warren Central. One of the guys making the stop is Markel Smith. So Pike will need to drive this one 90 yards, plus get a 2-point conversion to tie things up. They do have 5.5 minutes to work with.
Well, Josh, you know what that sounds like? An overtime game. That sounds like we're getting set up for an overtime for them to drive down there, go for 2, make it, and then ultimately give that ball back to Warren Central and let them have a try. I mean, that's all you can ask for when you call these games is exciting games between teams that, you know, there's a whole bunch of effort happening.
Well, the ball is marked at the 13, so 87 yards separate the Red Devils from a potential tied game. But a lot of room to go for this Pike Red Devils offense. First down, it's a handoff up the middle. Gabe Carr picks up the first down and more as he's chopped down to the 25-yard line.
And I like the play action right there because, you know, Seidel actually got me on the play action. I thought he was throwing the quick. And the ball had already been handed off and down the field for an extra 10 yards.
11-yard gain for Carr as he picks up a crucial first down, this drive continuing. Just over 5 minutes to go. Carr in motion. Seidel.
Oh, my gosh.
With time. Finds Carr, but it goes right through his hands.
And I lost it because I said, oh, my gosh, because all I saw was number 19 running right down the middle of the field with nobody on him. And right before the snap, Josh, I was thinking, this is a situation that Warren Central doesn't have to be as aggressive as they normally are. That means for the safeties to deepen up a little bit and keep everything in front of you. Make them make 10 plays all the way down the field, and go for 2, don't give them one big play that changes the momentum.
Trip set for Seidella as he sends his tight end in motion. That's Mitchell. Seidella with time. That is incomplete, intended for Lamar Eccles, bringing up 3rd and 10.
Interesting choice of where Seidella's decided to throw the ball the last 2 times. The play before, he had a guy open. That was the place where it was almost a double team right there in the middle. You know, I don't know if he's reading to decide who's open or there's an instant hot read that he was looking at there, Josh, but he's got to find the open guy on this 3rd down, or they're going to have to kick it away and hope their defense can make a stop with almost 4 minutes to go.
Just a tick under 5 minutes, so plenty of time, and Pike does have all 3 of their timeouts if they fail to convert this 3rd down. Seidella, play action, has to step up, finds his man Mitchell, and does he have enough for the 1st down? The side judge has it right at the 34, exactly where Pike needs to get to for a 1st down. A massive catch for Chris Mitchell, having to come back and make the contested grab.
Yeah, what a great catch right there. I mean, the ball wasn't thrown super well, and to go down and get that, especially in the situation where it was crucial to this tired football game, man, what a game he is having on the offensive side of the ball, meaning him, Chris Mitchell.
Keemon Turner, the tailback, checking in, gets the 1st down handoff. Tries to cut it back, but DeJuan Eccles is right there for the stop.
Yeah, in the front, that front 3-4 for Warren Central, still doing a great job and putting a lot of pressure. They're not going to make it easy on Seidella. They're going to make it challenging, and that's why I feel like the secondary can back up just a little bit, give the underneath quick stuff, don't jump it, because if you try to jump it, you miss it, then you give up a big play, and you don't need that right now as Warren Central.
Seidella drops back over the middle, and that is nearly intercepted, not once, but twice. Brian Stevens should have had it, but it bounced off his chest plate.
Yeah, you know why? Because that was an absolute bullet. That ball was thrown so hard right there. And now you got Eccles. I don't know if he's cramped up or hurt.
Well, Eccles is on his back.
You can go ahead and send it to commercial break. Actually,
Hopefully is okay. Meanwhile, we will take a quick commercial break.
Where's it at?
The MIC Network Game of the Week is a proud product of FrontRunner Media's Next Generation initiative. Thanks to FrontRunner, the MIC Network Game of the Week allows students around the MIC to get hands-on experience while working alongside media professionals. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the hardworking students that make it possible. The MIC Network, led by students, powered by champions.
Back from Pike High School, and Lamar Eccles walking gingerly off the turf. So we wait to come out of the timeout. Some final scores from around the MIC. Carmel beating North Central 38-14. Meanwhile, Lawrence North, talk about a comeback win in enemy territory, taking down Ben Davis 27-24.
And if that's any indication of what's going to happen here, we might have a barn burner as Pike is starting to move the ball down the field.
But they face a 3rd and 10 from the 34. Seidella under pressure over the middle, and it's caught! No! In and out of the hands of Lamont Owens. He had it momentarily, but failed to come up with the critical catch.
Yeah, running wide open right down the field, and that ball was just looks like a little bit behind him right there, and wasn't able to reel it in. It's one of those that that young man's going to wish he had back.
Seemed like that drop sucked the wind out of the home crowd at Pike High School. So now Pike has to punt yet again. Matthew Murray set to kick this back, and Again, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, Pike does have all 3 of their timeouts, but they need to get a stop in a hurry. Short hopper takes a Pike bounce all the way down to, let's call it the 27-yard line for Warren Central.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a good stop by Warren Central right there. I mean, you know, I think we see sometimes in football games that, you know, if you're a defense and you're just around the ball, you don't have to make a great play. You know, guys drop the ball. Guys don't do the things that they should do. And if you're just around the ball, hounding them, you know, make it tough on people to make great plays. And that's kind of what Warren Central did there.
So on the last possession, Warren Central getting a field goal from Joe Jackson that pushed the lead by 8. This time they are all the way back at their 27-yard line. Powell will start under center on first down, trying to milk as much of the clock as they can. Power play, right side. And look at the tailback. Looked like Ronnie Johnson churned his legs for a couple of yards.
Yeah, and this is where, as a defense now, you got to get the ball back. You know, this is the most important 3 and out of the entire game for you because you got to give your offense a chance to do that. The Warren Central starts getting first downs, those timeouts will go away pretty quick, and they'll be in victory formation taking a knee.
4-yard gain for Johnson, bringing up 2nd and 6 from the 31. So we approach the 3-minute mark of regulation. Under center once again. Sweep play.
Old school sweep.
Right side to Johnson. Only a couple more yards as Kyron Montgomery, one of the Pike defenders, in on the stop.
I like the old school sweep right there. You don't see those too often anymore in high school sports, but you know, for Warren's sake, they're basically two first downs away. You know, they get a first down here. The next series, you'll start to see Pike use their timeouts and one more first down, and they can lock this game away and come away with a big victory for the Warriors.
Critical 3rd down for both sides. As you mentioned, Travis, Warren Central looking to get their 2nd win of the season, while Pike trying to end a winless drought against Warren Central and get their 1st win over the Warriors since 2013. Powell, 3-step drop. That's caught by Delgado, and he's got the first down and more down around midfield, and another critical first down for Warren Central.
And realistically, this is now we're in a situation where Pike will have to start using their timeouts, and they can do it, and they can stop it on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. And this comes down to, if Warren Central gets another first down, they win this football game because Pike will not be able to stop the clock.
Well, the clock is stopped right now as Delgado was shoved out of bounds. Even if Pike is able to get the ball back, look where Warren Central is at midfield. They can pin Pike back at their own end of the field as Johnson trying to switch the ends of the field and has a lane, but that is closed quickly. Great stop made by Joseph Jefferson. And a late flag on the field in the back of the secondary. Not exactly sure what to make of that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what that penalty is right there, because now Pike's in a situation they got to start using timeouts like they did right here.
Officials still conferencing around midfield, and this is a big call for both sides, like you mentioned, Travis.
Josh, when you think about this, the MIC right now, is there anybody out there that can compete with Center Grove?
Wow. I'll answer that question later, Travis, because that is a massive penalty that pushes Warren Central all the way back to their 30, well, all the way back to their 40-yard line, so 15 yards from the spot of the foul, and perhaps benefiting Pike in the field position game.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a mental mistake. You know, you had just sitting on first down, you pushed the clock back, and now all of a sudden you're in a situation that you've got a long way to go to get a first down.
And it stops the clock, too, with Pike not even having to take a timeout. Add an insult to injury right there. Pike still with all 3 timeouts as the clock is now finally moving under 90 seconds. Pat Echeverria is trying to signal to the officials that the clock should be stopped, but Warren Central still gets a playoff.
Well, I'm not. He called a timeout, so I didn't know if he still wanted his timeout or not. Because once that, even with that penalty, once that ball is set, then that clock would restart again, and that's what he's asking about right now.
And since that was a dead ball foul, the clock should have been stopped on the penalty, right? It should not have been rolling.
I think that's what Coach is trying to get them to answer at this point in time is why that happened that way.
I'll need an official IHSAA rule book, but I guess that is what Echeverria is trying to argue for right now. Meanwhile, Etch is signaling to the clock operator exactly how much time should be put back on the clock. And it is going to be 1 minute, 25 seconds.
That's interesting. I guess that's what happens when it's your home field. You just tell the clock guy exactly what time. And now, I mean, the officials were right there, and they're in agreement with that, obviously. But still kind of funny to see the head coach kind of say, hey.
So Pike does use one of their timeouts. So 1 minute 25 to go, 3rd and long. Warren Central essentially going to run another play and force Pike to chew up one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
You would think that'd be the case, and after watching Warren Central play several times, they might throw that quick little screen and put that ball in the receiver and see if you can't make some stuff happen on the outside and run a little clock, or go traditional. Give it to your running back and let him use it, punt it away. And
Time on the clock is 1:35. Now another clock operation changes. It's now, the scoreboard now says 1 minute 35 seconds. So a lot of confusion towards the end of this game as we're trying to figure out how much official time should remain in regulation. Still a lot of time to go, Travis, but how impressed are you with how Warren Central was able to respond after a disappointing loss to Ben Davis last week?
well, I think they came back and did some of the same things they did last week at Ben Davis, both in a positive way and in a negative way. I mean, I think their defense played pretty well tonight, and we saw things from their offense, just being able to throw the ball down the field. And
so as you hear from the head official, the clock will be 1 minute 35 seconds. And now Coach Etch is trying to make another argument to the officials.
this is interesting, you know, and that's not having to be able to see a replay to not know exactly what the time should be. I'm not sure that they had access to that to really know.
They probably don't.
And even if we did, we would still be speculating ourselves. But definitely interesting for.
So second down as Michael Clark gets the direct snap. He's down short of the 45-yard line. And Pike will chew up
very interesting
their last time out.
Very interesting play call. You put your tight end in the back, snap it to him, and must be a play that they have a part of their package where they can do that.
We do have an injury on the field as the center, Devontae Payne, is down on the field.
Yes, please.
We will step aside for a moment.
Tom Wood's lifetime powertrain coverage includes the 4 most important systems in your vehicle for unlimited miles and unlimited time at no cost to you. Protection from expensive repairs, for a lifetime. Find the car you want the way you want at tomwood.com.
We're back to you guys.
Back from Pike High School as we have some late game drama involving the clock. With a minute 29 to go, Warren Central leads 29-21. As it stands on the scoreboard right now, both teams have one timeout remaining, and Warren Central facing a 3rd and long.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't want to use their timeout right now, and that's Warren Central, because they want that 129 to go as fast as possible. It's almost like that last play you'd have liked to even ran a sweep just to get a couple more ticks off the clock, and that's a 5-second play. And I think Warren Central right now knows that they need to go one more time, and then they're going to have to punt the ball away. But when you have an injury and it happens to be, first of all, you don't want an injury from anybody, but when it's your center and they're the one responsible to get the football to the quarterback, that is going to scare anybody. And so in a lot of cases right now, what you're doing is you're trying to figure out, well, what are we comfortable with doing? Are we comfortable bringing a guy in that hasn't had a snap all day long and putting him in a shotgun and snapping the ball 7 yards back? Or we're going to take it underneath center and just, secure what that snap might look like. And, this is one of those situations that, that you're playing more defensively than anything else.
Well, finally, after that seemingly endless recess, Warren Central's offense is back on the field facing 3rd and 16. And the clock is stopped, so Prince Powell will take it himself past the original line of scrimmage, and there is a flag on the field in the vicinity of a hold.
I mean, they may be lucky with that flag right there, and you know what? They may decline this. Well,
I would decline it just so you can get some more time.
Some time back. And that's just a big mistake right there from as a player, you should know one thing right now on this next play. If I cannot get the first down, then I have to stay in bounds.
So the official waving off as if Pike is electing to decline the penalty.
Well, I don't think so. I think they're going to take the penalty because they ran out of bounds. And because he went out of bounds, now they can take that penalty right there, and they keep that. They would keep that. They would keep that timeout. It looked like he was saying push him back and take it.
I guess Coach Etch is trying to think of field position, but even then, Warren Central used up 5-6 seconds on that last possession, on that last play.
Yeah, and the thing about this is, Josh, is it's a 10-yard penalty with a timeout. And here's how I'm thinking about this: is that's just as good as getting the ball back and having a 10-yard pass. And so you might as well take those free 10 yards right now on 3rd down. And Warren Central hopefully won't make that mistake, and they'll actually run the football and stay in bounds, force them to take their last time out, and then go ahead and punt the ball.
So Warren Central will be able to run one more play, essentially run up another 5 to 6 seconds, depending on when Pike is able to make the tackle and use up their final timeout. Or even better, knock Warren Central out of bounds. Powell works out of the gun. Quick throw out in the flat to Delgado around the 40-yard line, and that is where this Warren Central drive will end. Pike using their final timeout of the second half.
I cannot believe that. I'm just sitting here, Josh, thinking, if you really didn't have a chance to get a first down, why not run the ball off tackle? There's so much risk in throwing the ball right there. Now, they're lucky two things didn't happen. One, that they stopped his forward progress before they moved him out of bounds, so that they did have to call the timeout. But it just seems so risky to not just run the ball, let the clock run out, and punt it. But, hey, that's why I'm in the announcer's booth and not on the sidelines.
Still coaching up the DBs, right?
Still coaching the secondary or DBs or running backs.
Well, with a minute 15 to go, Anthony Seidella and company will get one more chance to potentially tie this game up and force overtime.
Now, here's another thing right now is see where the return guys are. They got to catch this football. And, if you're the coach and you've told him one thing is going, you got to catch this football. And if I'm Warren Central, he's going to try to put some leg in it, and hopefully they get a bunch of roll out of it.
Let's see if Pike will send some forces, and no, they're just going to cover. High towering kick, and this one will be fielded by Lamont Owens. Sheds one tackle.
Oh, there's the wall. He's got the wall
Good
there.
stiff arm, but not good enough. Good tackle made by 39 of Warren Central. That is Dalen Pfeiffer, the senior linebacker.
Now, the strategy for Warren Central is going into this series right here is deeper than the deepest, meaning if you're a safety here at corner, you got to keep your guys in front of you. That's your only job right now. They don't have any timeouts. So if you do that, they've got to make big plays to do that. Instead, what you got, Pike's focus right here has to be, I need to break it all the way down the middle. We have to throw the ball at least 10 yards so the clock stops. That's what's at stake right now.
1 minute and 3 seconds to work with. Anthony Seidel needs to drive this ball 70 yards for a touchdown and a potential game-tying 2-point conversion. He'll start out of the gun with time to throw. Heaves it downfield to Xavier Simpson. Incomplete. Xavier Simpson had a step on Devion Holman, but Seidela just overthrew his intended target.
And like I said there, deepest, you're deeper than the deepest. That means you give an extra cushion, and there's no way Holman can let his defender outrun him in that situation. So if his normal alignment is 7 yards off, then he should be 10 yards off or 12 yards off. There's no way that he can let that guy get behind him. I am dumbfounded right now with the fact that they're still playing regular coverage and turning and running.
Simpson gets the second down reception, but not the first down.
And my point, see, that's fine. Give him that, because they got to do that about 7 more times effectively to put that ball in the end zone. This is where teams just make a mental mistake where they get too aggressive like that. He doesn't make that tackle, and the guy goes down the sidelines for a touchdown. There's no reason that he should be playing within 5 yards, 10 yards of that wide receiver right now.
53 seconds to go.
They're pressing on the outside.
And Turner with some running room. Past the first down marker, down close to midfield. Clock is stopped momentarily to reset the chains. And Seidela trying to organize the troops. Good pickup for Keemon Turner on that first down carry. Clock is running again, 40 seconds and counting. Seidela backs to throw over the middle, caught by Lamar Eccles, and nearly broke it loose.
Yep, and like I said, still okay. Now, he got behind the defender, but it's still okay right now because you still keep it in front of them, and they still got to do it again.
Seidela spikes it with 32 seconds to go, gain of 27 for Lamar Eccles.
Yeah, I know defensive coordinator for Warren Central, Russ Mann, is probably having fits over there going, gosh, we got to keep that ball in front of us. But now they got to D up a little bit more because they just gave up a 30-yard, 40-yard play.
From the 26, 32 seconds to go.
Should be man under, too deep on the top, both safeties.
Seidela still has the entire field to work with. Mitchell, the tight end, in motion, and Muhammad Musa, the left tackle, moved, but it might be an offsides on Warren Central. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
Pat Echeverria will say, thank you, we will take that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I feel like we saw a little bit from Warren Central last week. In a position to win the game and down the stretch, just some very questionable things that just happened that you just couldn't wrap your head around. And now Warren Central's in that situation again, and they got bump and run coverage on the to the left up there.
Seidela looking to the end zone, incomplete, trying to go to Simpson once again. That was double coverage, but Seidela with a beautiful pass, getting it only where Simpson was able to get his hands on it.
Yeah, and really what has to happen there is for that play to work is that guy's got to be outside. And Seidela has to look that safety off. So he almost has to look like he's throwing left enough to get that safety to move out of there and then throw back that other way. And that's what you see at the next level with those quarterbacks do a great job is looking guys off and create a little trickery.
3rd and 5. Line to gain is the 16.
With no safety
Seidela
help.
under pressure. And he is hit from behind. It is an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass, so no fumble. DeJuan Eccles forces the issue, and it comes down to one final play, Travis.
Yeah, I mean, this is as a defensive player, this is where you want to be. You want the game on the line, and, you know, these corners are probably saying, hey, throw it to me. Throw it at me. Throw it my way, you know.
Well, Jason West has relied on this defense all season. Can they come up with one more stop? Seidela with time over the middle. Caught by Chris Mitchell for a first down. Down to the 5-yard line. And with 18 seconds to go, Pike has to spike it in a hurry.
Yeah, what a great pass right there. Everybody's got to get set, and they got to spike this ball as soon as that clock starts to roll. Boom.
Clock rolling now. Seidela
What's he doing?
has to spike it. And he does with 13 seconds to go. You're going to have time for, I would say, three plays.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It's like there's no communication there. He let 5 seconds run off the clock right there, and those 5 seconds are extremely important at this point in time. There's only one play to do at that point in time. That was spike the clock.
But what an impressive grab by Chris Mitchell coming up with big plays down the stretch.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go right back to him right now. I'm going to try to run something that maybe puts him in that situation. Man, I'd like to be those X and O's right now, taking that outside receiver, running a slant, running Chris in and getting him back out and giving him the ball and going to win or die with that right there.
Well, Russ Mann will talk it over with this defensive group one more time. Warren Central using their final timeout. Again, 13 seconds left, Travis. You're going to have time for 2, maybe 3 plays.
Yeah, here's what has to happen. They got to be careful because the ball is on the, 6-yard line?
On the 6-yard line.
You know, so anything that is caught and not in the end zone is a recipe for disaster. So they got to be telling you guys, hey, listen, you got to run a 6-yard route, and you got to know that you got to catch the ball in the end zone because you can't catch the ball and get stopped short of the goal line, and we can't get up there and run another play. That's number one. Number two, Warren Central's got to decide what defense they're going to play. If they're going to play man-to-man, which is something that people do in this red zone, then the rubs happen, or what they would typically call a pick. And that's what I would be trying to come up with right now if I'm Pike. I would try to get a pick with Xavier Simpson going inside and getting Chris Mitchell coming to the outside and taking my chances with that matchup.
Well, let's see, Travis, if your prediction comes true. You've got Mitchell and Simpson at the bottom of your screen. 2nd down towards the back of the end zone. Broken up, but a flag on the field. Devion Holman going to be called for pass interference.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of contact right there to be calling defensive pass interference in that situation. I'm just kind of on the edge right now waiting to see what the call is.
And this would be a half the distance to the goal. So mark the ball on the 3-yard line, the equivalent of a 2-point conversion play.
And here's the thing, as much as you would like to run it, if you had one timeout, you could take that chance. But if you try to sneak a run in here right now and Warren Central stuffs it, you can't get everybody back in time to run another play. So this is either got to be a fade to the corner, which if you see where Holman is on the left side in that back left-hand corner, or a quick slant from number 19, who's Xavier right there on the inside.
Seidela, quick throw out to the flat. Is it a touchdown? Official marks it a touchdown. Chris Mitchell with a massive touchdown, but an even more important 2-point conversion is coming up.
And most likely, you know, first of all, what a great play call right there. They had Warren Central in the perfect situation that they wanted to have him in. And now it's the big time. And I think if I'm them, I'm going to look at trying to do almost the same exact thing right there, and I'm either going to hit Xavier Simpson on a slant, or I'm going to hit Chris Williams getting into the flat.
Well, 2-point conversion plays have not been kind to Pike in Echeverria's tenure. Can they get one here? And a defensive lineman, might have been DeJuan Eccles for Warren Central, jumped off sides. So half the distance to the goal, it's going to be marked at the 1.5-yard line. Do you even consider running here, Travis?
Well, it looks like with that personnel change right there, you know, when they just took, I think, Eccles out of the game right there, that would lead me to believe that there's a reason that they might actually run the ball. And I see they're going to try to slip out Chris Mitchell out of the backfield. They're going to try to get him lost into the flat, just like they did last time. That's my prediction, Josh.
Here we go, folks, for the tie. Seidella out of the gun.
Oh.
It's a handoff.
No.
To Williams. He's denied! He is denied at the goal line!
Wow.
Warren Central is going to come away with the win!
I mean, what a great, you know what? What a great defensive stand from Warren Central right there on that 2-point conversion. Pike tried to sneak it in there. I just wasn't a fan of that right there. Not with the matchups that you had to be able to run the ball. And a lot of disappointment on the Pike side right now. But, you know, what a job by Warren Central's defense when it mattered the most to stop Pike's 2-point conversion. And, you know, Josh, a lot of people are going to be some heck of a armchair quarterbacks about that play right there, going all the way home. A lot of parents, a lot of kids, simply because that's a tough, tough call to make. If it works, he's a genius, and if it doesn't, then he's a GOAT. And that's how football works when you're a head coach and an offensive coordinator.
You've got to feel for this Pike crowd, too. The third time in 2 years that Pike has failed to convert on a 2-point conversion play, either for the win or for a tie, or to force overtime, I should say. Of course, 2 weeks ago, Pike falling short at Carmel, trying to get the win in double overtime, failing to convert on a 2-point conversion play, and then looking back to last year at Ben Davis, they tried to go for the win.
Now, what's interesting, because that was a 2-point conversion and Warren doesn't have it, I'm not even sure if it's possible to get an onside kick back in 4 seconds to be able to have a play. I'm not even sure if that's possible, but they're sure going to try right here.
Well, we've seen some crazier things happen, Travis, and it is never over until it is triple zeros. Set to kick. The onside kick is Matthew Murray. But as long as Warren Central comes away with this is probably their most impressive win of the season to date.
Well, we saw a lot of things from them tonight that was impressive. You know, the question moving forward for them, win or loss in this game, is can they do it consistently on both sides of the ball?
Murray set to kick the onside kick. Rather Juarez. Ball is loose, and Pike has it! Pike has got the onside kick with 3 seconds left.
So to answer my question, yes, you can still onside it and get the ball back and take one shot at the end zone. Now,
well, here we go. Seidella was in a similar situation at the end of the first half. Seidella wasn't able to get it, 45 yards?
So this is where coaches think about the old hook and ladder, where one guy runs out, he catches the ball, and somebody else runs past and they toss it to him, the hook and ladder. Or does he have enough arm strength to actually get the ball in the end zone?
Well, Seidella has had to sling it plenty of times tonight. Does he have enough muscle in that cannon to will one more pass, 49 yards? From the Warren Central 49, Pike will get one shot.
So they're going to try to roll him out, and the defensive line of Warren Central is just going to try to contain him in that pocket right there and get enough pressure that he has to throw it quicker than he wants to.
So Seidella will throw it to Mitchell, hook and ladder. Ball is loose, and the game is over.
It was there. Oh, my goodness. It was there, and he dropped it.
Warren Central comes away with an impressive road victory over Pike, 29-27. It came down to the final play, but Warren Central bounces back after an emotional loss last week to Ben Davis, and Pike, for the third time in 4 weeks, falls just short.
What's interesting here is we have a scenario where there's no hands being shaken right there, and teams are going off their side. It's a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, what a competitive game from two high school programs that both needed wins, and Warren Central came out on top tonight.
And either way, there were a lot of moments for both teams where they wish they could be getting back, especially for Pike. But Travis, as we look back on this game, and still an impressive win for Warren Central tonight, winning 29-27.
Yeah, I think Warren Central was extremely impressive, bouncing back from that heartfelt loss to your crosstown rival, Ben Davis. They made some of the similar mistakes that last time, and I think Coach West is definitely not wanting to see that. But at the end of the day, they did enough on offense and defense to come out with a win.
As we wait to speak with our Make Network Player of the Game, we want to announce that it is the quarterback for Warren Central, Prince Powell, putting on probably his most impressive, most complete performance of the season tonight.
And if I'm a Warren Central fan right now, I'm excited to see this kid come out of his shell. I think he played extremely well tonight. You saw his confidence. I told you in the very beginning, he had his muscle shirt rolled up in there. He had his guns out. And I think that just brought a little bit of extra confidence with it tonight because he did some awesome things tonight. So, impressive.
Well, Avia Owensby is down on the field with our Make Network Player of the Game, Prince Powell.
Semi three, take three.
Well, thank you, Avia. That was our Mick Network Player of the Game, Prince Powell, again putting on his most complete performance of the game. And Travis, man, we'll just start with this one, a back-and-forth affair all night, but Warren Central doing just enough to get a lead at the half and maintain control of it throughout the second half.
Well, I think both coaching staffs are going to have some things that they are going to love when they look at the film, and they're going to have some things that are going to be extremely frustrating. You know, simply all the penalties are going to be the frustrating things. You know, not capitalizing and making some mental mistakes down the road. Those are things that frustrate coaches, definitely. But on the positive side of it, the offenses, they've seen them both put points on the board. They've seen players step up. And defensively, they're saying the same thing. So there's some momentum being built for both teams. But definitely for tonight, Warren Central is on the move.
Especially as you look ahead to what's still to come in the final third of the regular season. Warren Central has a very tough task coming back home to face Lawrence North, who was able to come from behind and beat Ben Davis tonight. Meanwhile, Pike, they've got to turn around quickly because they are facing the best team in the state next week against Center Grove.
And right now, I don't know how you beat Center Grove because they've been so dominant. It's going to take an incredible performance, but you know sometimes everybody has that performance that you have all cylinders working, and maybe that'll be it for Pike next week, and we'll see Warren moving on as well, putting all those pieces together. And I think Coach West is going to be excited to see his offense. You can see their offense now coming together, gelling, and figuring out how to work on the same page.
Well, certainly an outstanding MIC Network Game of the Week tonight, and another one on deck next week as the MIC Network heads to Carmel to check in on the reigning 6A state champions for the first time this season. We will see them host the Ben Davis Giants. Carmel, of course, coming out big winners over North Central, and Ben Davis reeling after a very difficult loss to Lawrence North, but both teams look like they're starting to figure themselves out towards the end of the regular season.
Well, this would be a great game because of the progression that both teams are experiencing. I think a lot of the coaches shared with us this year that it just took a little bit longer this year because of some of the COVID things and lack of practice, and if you throw in any youth and other challenges, I think a lot of teams are just not coming to their stride. I know we've all but given the state title to Center Grove, but I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these mid-pack teams that are now starting to gel at the right time will give them a run for their money.
Well, certainly, again, an outstanding matchup in store next week. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Once again, final score, Warren Central ekes out a 29-27 win over Pike. For all of our friends here at Front Runner Media, for Will Matchett, Avia Owensby, and my pal here, Travis Brown, we want to wish you all a good night.
The MIC Network Game of the Week is brought to you by the Tomwood Automotive Group, Papa John's, Marriott East Indianapolis, Grand Visions, and Front Runner Media. You can watch the MIC Network Game of the Week on the MIC Network website, IndyStar.com, and WTHR Facebook Live.